was my favorite.
I tried to put that version of Spider-Man out of my head.
Why? You can't. You shouldn't.
I should.
You should not. It still has a place, I think.
No, it don't.
It does. It is the first iteration of the
Not my Spider-Man.
Oh my god.
Hashtag not my Spider-Man.
Yep.
Let me turn my
Not emo Spider-Man.
Yeah,
so this happened too.
I like that. I like that Spider-Verse acknowledged like
that was really
everything.
cool.
Yeah. Kind of like Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you have to if you're gonna do that. Well, welcome to Common Sense. This is our Cowboy Bebop special, and we have our very first guest. Would you like to introduce yourself, Blue?
Hey, what's up? My name is Jason. Friends call me Blue. Y'all, I don't know. I'm an actor, and I'm a big Cowboy Bebop fan. Watched it when it first came out. I got maybe 3 of the series on VHS.
Okay. Nice.
So
Like 3 individial episodes?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, not 3 individual. They were coming. It would be 2 episodes of VHS tape.
Gotcha.
So it's definitely different now, considering how far technology has come. Like at one point it was the DVDs, and I got them all on DVD.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's the Blu-ray that just has them all packed in
Yeah.
and stuff. And so I kind of wasted money way back when on those VHS tapes that I got.
That's all you had, though.
It was all I had, but it just left you wanting more, and for the cost of it, it was like
right, because it was like import.
no, it wasn't
okay.
import. It was they were selling them here, but it would be like about $25.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, how much was a
Yeah,
VHS
and it's
for
like just 2
episodes?
episodes. So
Dang.
yeah, it was a lot of money. I was never able to fully get like a full collection of whatever anime I was trying to get, except for if it was like a short OEV series that might have been 6 episodes or something.
Okay.
So,
My question was how it came out like 98. Did you watch it like right when it came out?
yeah,
Or if
you know I'm older. So
Nice, Jeremiah.
Well,
They
I
can
didn't
feel
mean
that.
to do that. Like, well, my question was like, so what was like watching anime back then? How was it? Because now you can just go online and like hunt it down.
I mean, it was just like anything back in those days because of the fact that you have to wait a week for it to come out. So you couldn't just go and binge watch whatever. So
It was real time, almost. Yeah. Was it on Toonami or was
Toonami.
it on... Okay, yeah.
Okay,
Like
wow,
OG
really?
Toonami,
Nice.
too.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I think that might be the way that I ended up watching the whole series. I forgot what particular way, but that might have been it. It might have been through Toonami, or I might have gotten the DVDs. I forgot. No, it might have been Toonami because I got DVDs like later. So because I wanted them.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So it was my first time watching the entire series. We finished the last 2 episodes, and that was fun. It was cool.
Like just now.
Yeah, we literally just finished watching it, and they were like, "We're done. Jeremiah's all up in his feelings. Let's get him on the podcast now." So,
Pretty much. It's
that's what's happening. I'm in that post anime depression right now. So it was good. It's really good. I will say it's very good. I don't know where to begin. One of the thoughts that I had was the entire series. It's very streamlined, but there's so much backstory that you don't get all of it. That I think that plays to the story.
Well,
I think it plays to it really
I think just one of the things, and I was talking to you about this earlier, man, that makes Cowboy Bebop great is the fact that they have this story, but they touch on like a bunch of different genres. And they do these genres really well. And then you have the backstory. And then you also have the relationships between the characters.
Yeah.
Because you find out, like, no, everything isn't one-dimensional. Like, these are very 3D characters. Like, they get upset at each other. They get angry. They leave. Then they show love for each other at the same time. Camaraderie and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's one of the things that makes the series work and that makes it so great. And especially because these characters, they all come from different walks of life. And they probably really shouldn't be together on that ship.
Not at all.
You know?
It's like Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a group of misfits that just kind of come together. I agree with everything you just said. And it's just one of those things where, you know, one minute it's funny, then it's like dead serious, then you don't know what the fuck is happening, and it's just I think it's like they say like on like the title cards or whatever. Sometimes it says like it's its own genre created.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like it
creating
totally,
a new genre.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is, because it's like, you know, there's some samurai movie bits in there. I mean, like I'm just gonna go ahead and throw this out there.
Western.
Yeah, spaghetti western. Well, spoilers. We're talking about this shit.
Okay.
But it's like, you know, it goes from like you said, a western to like there's this John Wick sort of ending with the whole thing. You know, it's kind of
there's also
crazy.
This very detective-esque.
Oh yeah, it's got very a film noir kind of feel.
It's definitely a noir.
And I think it plays to one of the things I was telling you. I think was it's just very slice of life. You're just watching a day in the life of these characters, and it doesn't over exaggerate it.
No,
and it just feels nice. And I was telling you, like, at the end of every episode when you have the theme song come in, it's just, or the end credit song, it's just like you get to like kind of breathe in. Yeah, like you digest everything that just happened. And I think that was like wonderfully edited, or wonderfully just the idea to do that, because some of the episodes are a lot and you're just like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like, let me just kind of catch up with everything that's going around.
So it was probably to your benefit, like, that you didn't get to binge it. You just had to kind of like, you had to digest each episode each week you watched it. And I think that I kind of wish I'd done it that way, because then it's like you have more time to really soak in everything. Because it's like you said, there's multi-layer things going on with each episode. And it's like, even if it just seems like, okay, like Toys in the Attic, for example, it's like, okay, it's kind of just its own standalone episode, but it's like Alien meets a 2001 Space Odyssey meets all this craziness.
Yeah.
And then it ends on like a joke.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like...
because the entire time I'm watching the episode, I'm like, oh my god, what's happening? What is this creature? Is it like, are we going to kill it? Whatever. And it's just like, no, we're good. Just, you know.
Yeah.
Check your freezer every couple of days.
I think that's what makes it good for it to be episodic, because it's like, there's a lot of anime that's just like episodic.
Yeah.
You know, but this one, it just the whole different genres thing just really works for it, because at the heart it's a sci-fi crime thriller noir, you know, but then it just goes through all these other genres. Like, you know, yes, you do have your very science fiction stuff. You have some of your, you know, like we just said, the horror
noir,
space odyssey thing. You got your spaghetti western. You got your blaxploitation.
Yeah,
that episode was amazing.
Yes,
it's like I didn't expect it. And then just like the music was. We have to obviously get to the music at some point, but it's just like, yeah, how the hell did they throw all these things in like a melting pot and it works?
Yeah,
like right.
Jet, he had his that was a detective mystery episode where he had his standalone episode. You had your romance, you had your quirky comedy.
With Ed. Ed, like, is probably one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
Because she's utilized, she's kind of just there, but she's utilized when needed, and then when she's not, she still kind of has a purpose to kind of like, not to relieve tension, but just, I don't know, it's like a breath of fresh air as everything is going on.
It's the childlike wonder.
Yes, the childlike wonder with like, what's going on? People are dying everywhere, but, you know, let's go hack this computer.
You know, Spike doesn't like
like kids
or women with attitudes.
Yeah.
Jet, you know, there are 3 things that I don't like: kids,
women with attitudes, and
kids,
pets,
animals, and women with attitudes.
Yeah.
How we managed to get all 3 aboard our ship?
Ed's kind of like reunite with her father was really, really nice. And I mentioned that earlier. I just love the dad person. Like, this is my dad person. This is Spike person. This is Jet person. Yeah. I want to call people whatever persons now.
And what was funny was, like, you could see that they're definitely related.
Yes.
Especially because he just freaking leaves her.
Yeah, he's just like, are you my son or my daughter? I don't know. Oh shit, there's another asteroid. Let's go.
Yeah,
it's just like up and out, like
just gone.
So what, did Ed go off to find her dad, or was she just going off to go off?
I think she went and found her dad.
Yeah.
Kind of with Ein and everything. I think that was kind of them coming back together.
Okay, gotcha. Because to me it was, I assumed that's what it was, but I wanted to make sure that I wasn't just projecting what I wanted.
Well, I mean, one of the beauty, or one of the things that's beautiful about the series is that it leaves so much up to interpretation.
That's actually really true.
And
yeah,
it's like,
that's very true.
I mean, what do you think happened, Blue?
With Ed?
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely think that she went after her dad. But also, Ed, I feel, now that I think about it, I feel like Ed had always kind of been using Bebop for, her own means as well. Like, everybody was kind of using everybody for whatever purposes. And I think Ed is also guilty of that too, because when she found her dad, then it was like it was time to go.
Pretty good.
Like it kind of came full circle for her, and she got to like kind of grow as her own person, but also like kind of rejoin her family in a way, but with this new independence. That's why I think it's so neat about Ed is it's like she and obviously her dad completely functioned independently, and so it's like I don't feel like her dad just up and abandoned her because he was being shitty. I think he's just spacey, like y'all were saying.
And it's like was really clear.
And she's as a result obviously spacey. One of my favorite things is like when they first like reconnect, she like the Bebop has crash landed and she just dives off of the edge, and her dad catches her by her feet and it just swings around everything. It's just like I feel like I like that because it's like a perfect example of. It's just visual storytelling.
Yeah.
You know their relationship without hearing any dialogue.
Yeah.
Just laughter and gestures.
It is fun.
You could just see like, oh yeah, I could see how they're related.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything that was far fetched or anything like that.
And there wasn't animosity, so there wasn't like you didn't have to be like, oh god, like why did you leave or anything like that. Like I think you hit that on the nail. Like
they just did their own thing.
You figured it out. Like this guy is as spacey as Ed. I get how he just completely forgot about her and just went and did his own thing.
It's more just like I forgot about that.
I mean, are you my son or my daughter?
I forgot.
I mean, you're here.
And
so
like you also hear it. Like he's been traveling around with this dude who knows how long, and he still does not know his name.
Yeah,
he's just
you
like, come on, McIntyre is McEnroy.
Michael, let's go.
Come on, McAfee.
And like you were saying, it kind of goes into every genre and everything. But like with Ed, we get kind of the comedic relief, and we get like that's she's the tech side of the Bebop, and she plays her own role, and then like Faye, What an awesome just idea for a character. She's just this gorgeous woman who is like not to be messed with, but she doesn't know about her past. All that she was just cryo frozen because she was in a car accident, and then wakes up in this crazy ass future.
Yeah, well, I think what's awesome about Faye is just her adjusting to that whole life, just adjusting to everything that she doesn't, like you just said, she doesn't remember her past. But adapting to all these new surroundings, and she just doing what she has to do. I mean, from the looks of her videos in the past, she was a very sweet girl.
Yes.
Sweet, innocent.
After, getting effed over, by that guy, I forgot his name.
That fat dude.
It's Matsumoto.
Haggis Matsumoto.
Whitney Haggis Matsumoto.
Oh my gosh.
After he just, douches all over her. She's got all that debt and she doesn't know how to pay it off, and just somehow she's managed to survive in this world.
Yeah.
And it's just by doing whatever she has to do. And it also goes back to her trust issues, where she doesn't trust anyone because she trusted him. He was the first person that she basically saw and that she opened up to, and was just shown all kinds of ways that she can trust him. And so like she's in this new world and she doesn't know anybody, and that just kind of closed her off, which makes it difficult with her relationship with Spike and Jet and everybody, because of the fact that she doesn't trust that they are a group of people that has her back, and that at some point they're going to leave her, or any number of things, and probably just because of what happened to her in that past.
Well, I know the writing should be commended for all the characters, and like with especially Faye, because you have her being that innocent person. You get to see that transition. You start off with her being this woman that's just kind of like sassy, annoyed with people and all that, but you get to see where she came from, and I think that you get a full character, and that's just the writing behind that is so well written that it doesn't seem forced when she goes from being sassy to being very sentimental and heartfelt, or to not knowing kind of what's going on. I think the writing is just exceptional, that they're able to consistently keep each character a real person instead of just playing these different, like Ed, again, like she could have been just the comic relief, but she's also able to play in between. Like, even though she's a crazy, spacey character, she knows what's going on and when to emote with certain things. Yeah. And the writing is just so well done.
Yeah. One thing, just on Faye for a second, is I feel like she's the one character we see the complete, like, arc from beginning to end with her character, where the other ones we kind of catch, like, bits and chunks and whatever, but she's the one where we actually see the whole thing play out in real time. Like, I mean, yeah, Spike has his too, and Jet has, I mean, they all kind of have their own, but I feel like hers is like, we meet this character, we see everything, all the big significant stuff, where like, Spike, I mean, Blue, you were talking before we even sat down how, like, ideally you would want a prequel series to see how the hell all that happened, and I agree.
It's very interesting.
Well, it's like, the Syndicate, we really don't understand a whole lot. We just know it's like a very, force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
But I think that goes back to what you were saying, like leaving everything up to interpretation. And I think that's also kind of the mystery and stuff behind noir and everything, is that you don't know everything that's going on. And that's kind of what they say. I heard about the Jaws thing, you don't reveal the full monster or something like that. Yeah. So you could kind of think about it like that. Like, if they did reveal everything, then it's not as mysterious, but right now it's mysterious. Like, what happened back then?
Yeah.
Like, was she going out with Vicious and then he hooked up with her?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about
that. Was, like, really interesting.
Like, okay, so was she with both of them? That's that's the impression I got, yeah.
She was. Because I was like, did she get pulled into... She wasn't a part of the organization, right?
She was, in the sense that, I think... like indirectly, because she was involved with them who were part of the organization.
Gotcha.
Just like Anastasia, the friend is part of the organization because, she's got some kind of relationship with Mao or whoever, So
it's all guilty by association.
Yeah. Because I'm sure they told her secrets and stuff, so you're in.
You're in now, yeah.
So
you have the knowledge.
Let me ask you this. Who does she really love out of the two of them? I think it's Spike. Yeah.
That's like no question. Yeah.
But it's just like, where did again? It's like the mystery of it. It's just like, well, how did this
that's what
get
I want
to
to know?
her?
Like,
to the point that's just like they had a thing too.
I would like to see that.
It's so
because
it's
it
so noir.
So the relationship with Spike was so genuine. It looked like and it felt like that. I don't even know how Vicious would have been able to like slide into her DMs.
I mean, maybe Vicious was with her first.
Okay, I can see that.
Then, like, he's very cold the way he is. And then she meets Spike. And then, like, he's a warmer person. And she ends up hooking up with Spike.
It's kind of like The Office, almost. Like, do either of you watch The Office?
I've watched bits and pieces of it. Yeah. My brothers watched all of it, though. Basically,
like, you always hear about, like, Jim and Pam or the couple. Yeah. Well, Pam is engaged at the beginning of the series to another guy.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's that unfolds very similarly, where the guy she's engaged to is kind of an asshole, but Jim's more what she wants, and it's just that whole dynamic of it's like, well, I'm with somebody, but I love somebody else. It's very Casablanca, actually. It's just cool to see like those different kinds of dynamics still playing out in stories. 20 years later.
It's not what you say, it's how you say it, because they say nothing new is done under the sun.
Nothing new has been created under the sun.
Part of what we're talking about with the prequel series, I would like to see Julia's character explore more. Like, there's a flashback scene, and I'm sure you've seen pictures on the internet where she's wearing kind of like this very leather tight form-fitting outfit, like she's part of Avengers or something like that.
Right.
No. And she's in a pool hall, and that's where Spike sees her and everything. So it's like, what's going on with that? Because then we also see her in just like regular
like
clothing,
sweet
but like what's
that was from the show?
Yeah.
I totally like
You never.
I was gonna say,
what
flashback?
It sounds familiar, but I don't like. It doesn't pop off.
I think the flashback happens during episode 5, Ballad of Fallen Angels, and when Spike is falling out the cathedral.
Oh, gotcha.
And his life is flashing before his eyes, and like he's thinking about all those different things, and also just basically when he met Julia. And there's a scene where she's wearing that outfit, and it looks like she's in a pool hall somewhere with probably syndicate folks. And Spike is standing there, kind of like in the hallway or in the doorway.
He's got a drink or something, doesn't he?
No, he doesn't have a drink. He's got on that like vest.
Yeah.
Outfit that he wears. So yeah.
That's coming back to me now, because then it's like you see that kind of establishes their relationship, and then like towards the end of that flashback where it's like he basically goes to her bleeding out and she lets him in. My favorite part about that episode is when you see him kind of starting to wake up from his drug-induced wounded coma, and at first he sees Julia and he hears her humming.
Right.
And then he blinks and then he sees Faye.
Yeah.
And then you sing off key.
Yeah.
And then you just hear, and just looks like, oh, okay, just another day on the Bebop.
Yeah.
So there's the live action Netflix series that's coming out. What do you speculate they're gonna do with it? Do you think they would do some? They have casted like Faye and Ed, right?
They've cast
like all the Bebop crew,
the main characters.
Okay, so I'm assuming that. Do you think they're gonna stick to?
They're not. They're not.
No.
They're already taking liberties.
Oh, they already are.
Ein's no longer. Yeah.
He's not a Welsh corgi.
Oh, dang.
He's a fucking husky now, and it's like,
what?
Why? Exactly.
What I read was that they said that this husky is like huskies are smarter or something like that. Easier to train and more adaptable, and that there was nothing said that the dog has to be a Welsh corgi. I think if it was the writer or somebody, they love corgis. That's why they had corgi. Yeah. Okay. So
I can give that some. I don't know, because you are like huge friends of the series. I want to hear y'all's thoughts about it and kind of dive into that.
I'm just gonna be an asshole and say, if you can train a fucking corgi to do shit. You can train a dog to do shit. If they can train a fucking cat to do shit, and some of the stuff on TV, you can train a fucking corgi. Oh, but it's easier to train this one. Fuck you.
Like, throw some money at it and it'll work. You know what I mean? Like, throw some money at somebody that can train it.
It's Netflix. They're hiring all these fucking actors and they're doing an adaptation of an anime. They're throwing fucking money at get a goddamn corgi.
Yeah.
Sorry, I mean it's like, I know it's just a small aspect, but it's like that's such a big identity of the thing. And they're taking, like, I said this when you were sharing it on Facebook about all this shit, because we've had some wonderful discussions about this. The problem is, I feel like, and when people were questioning the whole thing with the dog, they basically said that it's like, okay, fair enough, I guess, but then they were kind of assholes about it. Like, whoever the producers are were basically saying, well, we're not going to do a literal adaptation. What's the fun in that? And I'm like, fuck you. You don't understand this. You're just doing whatever you want and just saying, well, it's for creative license. It's like, creative license is when, Gravity. They're up in fucking space. There's no ambient light in space. It's either harsh, bright light or dark, just darkness.
Yeah.
They have ambient light in Gravity because you need to be able to see shit. It's like that's artistic license. What they're doing, I feel like, is just like they're taking the source material, they watched it once, and they're like, okay, we're going to do our own interpretation of this, and they don't get it.
That's
my rant.
Is exactly what I'm afraid of. That's what it sounds like they're doing. They're like, that story has already been done.
Yeah.
So we're going to tell our own story.
Yeah.
In our own words, kind of a thing. And the problem with that is when you take a series that's so beloved like Cowboy Bebop, then yes, you're going to get a lot of backlash. Just like any particular thing, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, oh my god.
His
we're
character
talking
design
about that.
is
Jesus.
like the character design is there.
It's so simple.
Why can y'all just
Roger Rabbit.
Do that.
It's so simple.
They can be cartoony and interact with real people. It's not that fucking...
But, you know, people, they just go and do their own thing. So it's like, it's just worried about it. I'm not very thrilled about the cast, who they have lead.
I think John Cho is a good Cho.
I think Cho.
He's a great actor. I don't really like.
I have nothing against him or his acting.
Nothing against him.
He's too old.
Yes, you said that. We kind of had this because Spike is in like his late 20s.
He's like mid to late 20s. He's a young guy, and
John
Cho's pushing 50. And
he
looks great, but
he does look great. I didn't know he was almost 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
jeez.
So
he's too old.
There's that.
So it's like clearly they're aging him up then. Which
I
is
don't
weird.
know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
He's Asian.
I mean, I know Asians are timeless and everything, but you know, but
John Cho looks like a dad.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. It's nothing. It's not saying he hasn't aged well. He looks like a dad, and Spike, well, at least to our knowledge, isn't a dad.
But also, this is a thing where Spike isn't necessarily Asian.
So this is a huge problem that I have. Remember when the last movie came out, the friggin' everyone got pissed off
Ghost in the Shell?
Mm-hmm. They're like, why isn't she Asian? Because the motherfucker didn't look Asian in the source material. Bitch doesn't have to be Asian. She doesn't look Asian. Not most, but a lot of anime, the characters do not look Asian. So you can't say that they need to be Asian.
This is where I disagree with you for Ghost in the Shell.
Okay.
So the character's
I
name
also
is...
did not watch it, so I can't. I don't know shit.
So the original source material, the movie and everything, the character's name is Makoto. I think it's Makoto Kusanagi.
It's Japanese as fuck.
Basically.
Yeah. Okay, so that makes sense.
Is what I'm trying to say.
That makes sense. Okay.
So it's Japanese.
That's justifiable.
So it needs to be a Japanese woman that's playing the character instead of Scarlett Johansson.
Yes.
So in this case, the character's name is Spike Spiegel. Mm-hmm. He's not Asian. You know, they never allude to that he's Asian or anything. If anything, he looks more like a Caucasian Jew person because of his hair. Yeah, you know, he's got that fro thing going on. I think they said that he was born on Mars.
Yeah.
You know, so obviously they have a melting pot of different ethnicities and stuff going throughout Cowboy Bebop. So Spike could be anything, really, you know, but he doesn't have to be Asian.
Yeah.
And I think this particular time with this adaptation, they decide, like, this is an anime, you know, we're going to make the character Asian. And it's like...
we're doing the right progressive thing.
But it's like, y'all don't have to do that here. In fact, this kind of goes against it a little bit because of the fact that I don't think Cowboy Bebop was really popular in Japan because it was more...
so Western.
Yeah. You know, so it's definitely more of a Western kind of, you know, show and everything. So
I agree. My thing is exactly what you said. And if the character is specifically of Asian descent, like, okay, like, I don't want, like, if they did a Samurai Champloo, like, adaptation, I don't want them to have a bunch of white people in there. It's like, it takes place in Japan. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. But, you know, it's like, this is actually a problem. I haven't seen the live-action Attack on Titan movies, but I didn't want to see them because I don't think they look very good, A, and then B, my favorite character in Attack on Titan is Sasha Browse, who is like the potato girl.
Yeah.
She's fucking Scottish in the comics, and it's like everybody's like Japanese, and I understand, like, obviously they're probably just casting, like, you know, just Japanese actors, whatever. But, you know, it's just like, I wanted the hungry Scottish girl, and we didn't get her. I don't even actually. No, she's in the movie, but, like,
you should definitely watch it. It's a good B movie to just watch some weird.
I've heard the effects are cool.
The effects are cool and weird in a Japanese way.
Right.
And it's fun. Like, I just skip through it to watch people get eaten by Titans and to watch Titans die. Don't watch it for anything
I did
else.
see a screenshot of the smiling Titan. It
That's
terrifying.
horrifying.
Yeah,
Jesus,
which is what it's supposed to be.
Yes.
But going back to, like, my points, it's just like, you know, if the character, like, goes to the shell or what have you, it's like the character is, like, specified as particular ethnicity. Mm-hmm. Go with that. But if it's like, you know, Cowboy Bebop, where it's kind of like, it could be anything. Mm-hmm. Let it be anything, you know?
It's kind of like what's happening right now with this whole Little Mermaid thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
You know, like, everybody's like, no, You know she's supposed to be a white girl. It's like, she's a fucking mermaid. Mermaids could be whatever. It's a fish.
I have a meme to show you that Julian posted. I'll find it.
I have a very, very, very self-centered, just self-indulgent reason why it just kind of gave me a little like, what? Kind of when I heard about it, because I like redheads.
Okay.
And one of my redhead. Yeah. But the thing is, they got a girl who is very talented, who's who can sing, who can act, and she's gorgeous. And I'm just like, I saw a piece of fan art. I'll show you guys after we record. That sold me on it. And I'm just like, but my reaction was like not like, oh god, she's black. It's like, no, it's like, I want my redhead. It's such a bitchy little reason.
Someone was talking about, well, what are they gonna do for what's the king's name? I don't watch Disney. Haven't seen Trident.
See, I keep hearing Trident, and I keep hearing people call him Poseidon. I'm like, motherfucker, it's Trident.
Okay, Trident. If they don't cast Idris Elba, they need to find some other like
Terry Crews,
Black Adonis. That sounds good. Yeah.
I love Idris Elba, but I'd rather see Terry Crews.
No, that's
just because I just picture Old Spice commercials. It's funny.
But it's like people are, and we'll get off of this and get back to Bebop. But it's like people are arguing about that, and it's like most of the other characters in that Disney universe and stuff is different ethnicity or their background or whatever. Like Mulan, if you had somebody else to play Mulan that wasn't Asian or whatever, you're like, weird. Okay, no. If you had somebody else to play Pocahontas, it's like, no. I can understand you having backlash if it was a black woman or a white woman that was playing Pocahontas, but this is a damn fish under the sea.
Under the sea.
There's no cultural.
There's no problem.
Yeah, there's no cultural shit under the water.
It's like there was no problem when the crab was Jamaican, right?
It's all kinds of stuff like that. Because even with the Airbender, when M. Night Shyamalan did that,
I still haven't seen it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But it's like the casting for that. There's very Asian type characters because you got Katara and all that kind of stuff, and they're not that.
They're not that. Yeah.
They got Dave Patel to play Zuko.
But still,
I think that was like...
I'm fine with it just because I love him as an actor, and I haven't seen the movie. I want to see him as a bad guy.
I can't stand him as an actor. I think...
Have you seen Newsroom?
I've not seen Newsroom.
Watch Newsroom.
Like, I don't know. It's maybe it just was that movie. Maybe it was
Slumdog?
just the script. No, I'm talking about Avatar. He would have been fine if, to me, his acting was better. It may have been the script.
It could have been...
It might have been the script.
It might have been the script, and it might have been the direction.
I'll go to Daredevil with Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck is good, but the script is terrible. But he does good with that. I don't feel like
I don't think he was the problem. With
he
that
wasn't,
movie.
but I like Dave Patel to me when in that role because I love Avatar so much.
And Zuko's your favorite.
And Zuko is absolutely one of my favorite. I don't think he did. I don't feel like he put any effort into acting at all. Like it was almost as if it was his first movie acting. No, fuck that dude.
When it's your favorite character,
I get it.
Like, that's rough. Ooh, oh, jeez. And so they're doing that. That's supposed to be live action, and I'm like, I don't need that. Like, just leave it alone.
Well, this is what the problem I'm having is like with Netflix and their anime adaptations. Like, I'm not a huge Death Note fan by any means.
I still need to watch it.
I watched most of the series and it just started dragging to me and I stopped watching it, and my friend Alec is going to be furious that I confessed that. But I watched the movie and I was just like, okay, I'm going to watch it as its own thing, treat it as its own thing, what have you. Willem Dafoe was amazing. That was, and there was a lot of him was a practical effect, which I thought was really cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
I didn't know that.
And I appreciated a handful of things that they did in it, but my biggest problem with it was it just felt like, again, they looked at the source material with one viewing, and not even a full viewing.
I was going to say, I watched the trailer,
you could
tell. I watched the trailer after watching the original series. I watched the trailer for the movie because I'm still going to watch it at some point, but you can look at it and tell, like, you're like, they didn't watch this at all.
It's like, I felt like the only thing they fixated on was Ryuk. And that's it. Because Ryuko's great.
Well, I wanted to watch it for L, because L's one of my favorite characters.
I liked what they did with
Lakeith Stanfield.
They are messing up your favorite
characters.
And
I love Lakeith Stanfield.
I liked his interpretation in the sense that it was just like, he was very... I felt L in the character.
Okay,
even with the departures, I felt him in the character. With Light, he's just a fucking asshole.
Like, Light looks like a piece of shit. Yeah. That, I like that actor. He just is, from the trailer, he's just like a piece of shit from the beginning. He didn't look like, because in the show, he has this progression to this darkness. He doesn't start out like a little fucking asshole. And that's what you get just from the trailer. It's like, this shit's a little bitch.
Have you seen it?
Nah, like you said, I never really got into Death Note like that. I know everybody loves it.
I think the concept's cool.
I think if you can get through it, because it's a very heavy show. If you can get through it,
it's not even
take
that.
Time with
it's
it,
just,
but it's not. I think it's a good philosophical. What is it? Psychological philosophical show.
Thriller.
Yeah, thriller. That's it.
But it's not any of that. It just didn't capture my interest.
Gotcha.
That's all.
Gotcha.
So
I'm very surprised I enjoyed it, because it's not an anime that I would like. Like, I like either like straight on action or situational comedy, or like.
See, that's the thing. That's the other great thing about anime. Even though the market is oversaturated with everything, like they find one particular thing that works well, and then they just kill it.
Mm-hmm.
But
cat ears.
but you do have all these different options, because they do comedy, they do thrillers, action, psychological stuff. Because I got my roommate watching this one called Erased right now. And that's a really good one. And it's just about this dude that basically he can go back 2 minutes in time, I think. And it's kind of like a deja vu kind of thing. So he calls it revival. And he'll see something. He'll see like these butterflies. And then he's reliving whatever moment that he was going through 2 minutes ago. And he says that when that happens, there's something wrong, and he's got to fix it. It's like the universe is giving him a chance to fix something.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes either he'll get, very caught up in it, where he, gets hurt from it or something like that, or he's just able to save everything and put things right. But he gets like this situation ends up happening, and it throws him way far back in time.
Oh, whoa.
To back when he's in middle school.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Is it like butterfly effect, where it's like he's in the consciousness of his like younger self, or is he just like, okay, yeah,
he's in the consciousness of his younger self, but he's also in control of his younger self and everything.
Gotcha.
So and then it's like, I gotta figure out what the heck is going on and fix it, and it's good.
Nice.
It's only 12 episodes, and it's just like...
See, that's something I can get behind. I need to find more
digestible,
serialized anime.
Yeah. Like, the ones, I call them power-up anime, because anything that's like Dragon Ball Z to me, which would be like Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, they have episodes that go on ages.
Filler, beyond.
Like, that's stuff that I would like to watch.
That's what I would like to watch as a kid.
As a kid, yeah.
Yeah, because I'd be like, oh, there's more, yes. Oh, they're growing up. This is a fantastic series. Now I'm like, man, this is a lot of filler. The animation quality is always just kind of wonky. It's good here, then not so good this next episode. And it's the same thing over and over again. A threat comes through, beats the shit out of everybody. Then everybody goes and trains, and then they overcome the threat, rinse and repeat.
I can't stress. Like, I just started, or probably about 2 months ago, I tried to watch Dragon Ball Z from start to finish, or at least I was trying to do at least the first season, see where I got. It was like I loved it, but then it was just like, what I want to do is find like somebody I'm sure has made a list of like, Watch this, and this. Skip this 7-episode bullshit, and then go to this.
Watch Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
I got Guru on my desk because Guru from Dragon Ball Z Abridged is like the best thing ever.
Yes.
And I wanted to watch it actually so I understood the context, because I saw like Dragon Ball Z as a kid here and there, but it's like, yeah, but my whole thing was like the worst part about the first season. I saw fish. It was pretty. That is all. You can go away now. I saw a bird. Kick its ass. Oh god, my favorite one is with that is when it's like, Dende sucks about your family. You know who else lost his family? Batman. It's like, I don't nah Dende. And then it's just like it's
no.
I love when he like he's just like, I don't know who that is. See, this is why we need TV.
I think Gohan, when he's unlocking their potential, and he puts his hand on her and it's like, I think I need an adult. I am an adult.
and then like afterwards he gives him the Dragon Ball and they leave, or Krillin goes with him and he's just like, prepare to retrieve the Dragon Ball and the body. But the worst part about like watching this first season of Dragon Ball Z for me was like the fact that it's like, we had to watch Goku go on this fucking snake bridge for like half the goddamn season. I liked when he stopped with like,
I will say, before you continue...
Wait. I like when he stops with the dragon people, or the giant dragon like hive mind thing. That was cool. But then it's just like, you keep going and going. Fucking Piccolo training Gohan was fine. But then he gets there, trains for like about a week. And then, oh yeah, it takes me 3 years to get through this thing. Let me go do it again. Oh wait, I can fly now. Maybe it'll take me a month if I go quickly and don't stop.
The face you made whenever you're like on the fucking bridge, that was amazing. Like that, like if we were recording that on video.
I forgot about that.
That was hilarious. My brother watched all of Dragon Ball, and I think he still keeps up to it, like legitimately every single episode. And I remember coming in over the course of a week as he was watching that season, and like motherfucking Goku or Gohan was on the fucking just the bridge, just running like.
Yeah, right. He runs and then he gets to fly, and it still takes him for fucking ever.
Yeah,
like, oh wow,
this
is
driving on the bridge like Forrest Gump. Just going.
Boom.
Almost said if I run down this bridge pretty fast, I get to be coming back alive.
Let's see. One of the animes that I really enjoyed that was kind of slice of life was what is it? I See the Faces of the Kids. It's the girl.
Is that what it's called?
No, I mean that could be an anime. I See the Faces of the Kids, and then it's the girl who gets her hair cut and they think she's a boy. They're on High School Host Club.
I thought you were describing Mulan.
Oh, I mean, maybe. I haven't seen it. I probably am.
What the fuck?
I don't fuck with Disney, y'all. I do not fuck with Disney.
Mulan. You have to at least watch Mulan.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
You watched The Lion King, though, right?
I mean, I've seen it.
So you've seen it?
I've seen it. Yeah, I said I don't fuck with Disney. I've seen Lion King.
He said he's seen it. I've seen Lion
That's
King.
Like
I cried. When
I
watched
feel like Lion King was like kind of like the black movie everybody took their kids to see. It was like the Black Panther of like animation back then when it came out.
I saw Hamlet,
but it was good. Yeah,
Hamlet.
absolutely.
It's
it was
fucking
good.
Hamlet.
It's absolutely good.
Yeah.
But
it's like don't take that Mufasa shit away from me.
The Orion High School Host Club is really good because it is a slice of life and you get to experience like the school year with these kids and to see like the weird relationship between like one of the not older dudes, one of the dudes that runs the thing and how he likes the girl, but like that doesn't really turn anything. But like the way that ends also is very much open to interpretation. But you just come into each episode finding about like these 7 or 8 characters. And sometimes they'll take 1 or 2 episodes to kind of flesh out something. And it's so nice. It's so good.
There was a really good slice of life anime called Kids on the Slope. And it's on Hulu.
Is it about snowboarding?
No.
Oh, damn.
I
got really excited.
Huh?
Are they on a mountain?
Not at all.
I was like, this is awesome.
This title is misleading.
It's kind of like they're not really misfits, but it's this one kid that's a bully in high school. It's this other kid that I think he's been moving around. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
It's the Breakfast Club.
But the kid that's been moving around plays piano, and they all become friends, and just it's a slice of life.
I was gonna say this looks fun. I looked it up, and just the pictures look awesome.
Real quick, because we're supposed to be talking about Bebop. We've been
Bebop anime.
We go.
Bebop anime.
Yeah. I do want to circle back to Bebop.
We didn't talk about the soundtrack.
Oh yeah. I also you can go ahead and do that.
I want to at least talk about the soundtrack before
the moment I heard the theme before I knew about the show.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I forgot how I heard it. I don't know if it was like an Adult Swim commercial or no, it was a Toonami commercial. And they played the theme. I was like, that's really cool. And then 15 years passed and I didn't hear it again.
So let me tell you my first introduction to Bebop. That way it gets to the music because it is about the music. I was at AWA, Anime Week in Atlanta, 2014 or 15. And they had the Cowboy Bebop Lounge. And my friend, he was super into Cowboy Bebop, so he was like, let's go to the lounge. And it was just a bunch of swing dancing. They were playing jazz. It was awesome. We just kept going there throughout the entire weekend. So when I found out the anime was about the space cowboy, I was like, I don't get this. And so I didn't watch it until this year. So that's 4 years later. And then I was like, oh my gosh, this works. And I wish I had seen it so I had so much more appreciation. Mm-hmm. But just the music that they played, I think they played stuff from the soundtrack in other animes. But it was such a great, just a lounge where people were just dancing and swing dancing and just having a good time. Yeah. So, yeah, that's how I got introduced to Cowboy Bebop.
For me, I was getting these game magazines and I think anime magazines too, and they were talking about how Cowboy Bebop was coming out. And so I think I just went ahead and bought the VHS tapes, like I said, and I got it. And for me, when I first watched it, it was like, oh man, this is cool with the music and everything, but at the same time, it was like, I guess I felt that whole Western feel to it, and I was just like, because I was telling you at the time, I had got Cowboy Bebop and Outlaw Star, and I thought Outlaw Star was going to be the shit for me. And so I was like, yeah, this is cool, but I don't know how into it I am. And I watched Outlaw Star and it's like, this is that sci-fi, that space adventure. I'm feeling this, and the intro is the anime stuff that I'm used to. But I fell in love with the Bebop and just the whole soundtrack, and that intro is just killer with the sax at the end and everything, and just doing and that whole intro is very 70s. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, just how they used to do intros in the 70s and stuff.
With the color, just the one color, filter over the lens while doing stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they just killing it. And that's my girl Yoko Kanno. She cannot really do any wrong for me. So,
I can see why, because she does so many different genres in this one thing.
She's done a number, a lot of anime that I like has her on the soundtrack. She hasn't done as much stuff, but there was this one anime called The Vision of Escaflowne. It was a fantasy mech anime that I really enjoyed, and so that had kind of more a classical feel and everything, because it kind of taking you away from Earth and into this steampunk medieval kind of fantasy place or whatever. So just kind of very whimsical, classical, and then with this one, it's just more jazzy, and she like you said, she does these genres, and she kind of delves back into it a little bit with this other series called Darker Than Black. So, but it's just so much stuff here, because what's one of my favorite tracks? I don't know the names of them.
I can tell you mine, if I may.
Yeah.
Because this is how I kind of started watching the series. I watched Attack on Titan, and I was kind of deciding okay, I want to take the plunge. Give me good anime. What am I supposed to watch? And I had a friend who Christian Gaddy was the one who was very persistent about I'm gonna sit you down, even if I have to Clockwork Orange, just keep your eyes open, and you're gonna watch the first episode of Cowboy Bebop. And I watched it, and it was awesome. I got that, and we went to a friend of mine from college's wedding in Fort Lauderdale for, it was a 4 or 5 day thing. And I wasn't feeling great. I think I had like eaten something the night before or whatever, and I just want to chill at the condo, and the guys went out and just did something during the day or whatever. And I watched Ballad of Fallen Angels, and when Spike gets thrown through the window and Greenbird starts playing, I was just like, this is art. I'm watching art right now. This is not anime bullshit. This is like art.
Yeah.
And I mean, I knew that a couple episodes prior, but it was still just like seeing that just film a moment of just like he's falling, he's having all those like, you know,
flashbacks,
visions, and then that music, it's just so like, I don't know, it's like, it seems like something Tarantino would do.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know, it was so classy and so like, I don't know. And the cool thing, I didn't realize this until afterwards, because I'm like, I love that track. And before I started watching more episodes, I just went on YouTube and played Greenbird on loop for like 5 minutes.
Nice.
It was just so cool. But I found in the thing I had downloaded that basically it had the soundtracks too.
Oh, whoa, nice.
Yeah. And
That's
so
awesome.
I was like, okay, well this works. And so that was on my iPod and in my car. It still is in my car.
Oh, what? Yeah. That's what's up. The first anime I picked up was, what was it? Eureka 7? It was Eureka 7?
I've heard of it.
I say
Eureka 7.
I have to say Eureka, because that's how they enunciate it in like the show, right?
I'm just going off of what I've read.
I go off of they pronounce it Eureka.
I've never seen it, so I don't know.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
They had like 2 series. The first series, I think, is like 52 episodes. Then there was like...
That's the only series you really need to watch.
Yeah, I heard like the second one was like...
I didn't like the second
really?
one.
Okay,
and
cool.
it wasn't the original people that wrote the first one.
Okay, cool.
So that always has an effect.
Yeah, and like there's like, because that started off as like just like a cool anime, like it was almost like a cartoon show. You're like, this is cool, and then like slowly it starts to get real, and then like characters die, and you're like, oh shit, and then like just more shit happens. You're like, oh shit. You're just like, ugh. Like that was my first like introduction to anime, and it was like that was like post anime depression. That was crazy. Into that shit.
Did you find the track?
Yeah, I've pulled up the thing. So one of my favorite tracks is the song Adieu.
Yes.
Yeah. They play like an instrumental. They do a more operatic version, I think, and a jazzy version of it in the series, and they use it very well in the different scenes that they use it for.
Isn't it the one that's in like the little like music box?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Ooh.
You know
Yeah.
I love that version. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's, I think it's New York Rush. It's one of the ones where like if Spike is fighting somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
It's got kind of a poppy 70s feel to it.
Yeah. So there's that. You haven't seen the movie yet.
I have not.
But there's What Planet Is This?
Which one is that track?
So that track is when he's flying towards the end of the movie.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
It's like, what planet is this? Dun, 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 dun. You go.
What I like about that particular song is it's like it really. It's it's a good song you can just listen to, but it's like it keeps that tension.
Yes.
Like it is like it's so like I'm like on the edge of my seat.
Yes.
It's like what the fuck is going to happen?
And just the arrangements and everything with it and stuff, and like it's kind of like how do you keep things going from where you did the TV series and then you go into the movie and like
because it's the
does
same.
this
Does
this track it is just like it's killing it. It's like dun, 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 dun. What planet is this? Oh, dun, 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 dun. Like
in Jeremiah, it's like the culmination of like all the shit that's going on in the movies leading to this moment. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I also another track from the movie I like is the opening. I forget the name of the song, but like it's like the opening credits montage.
Real Folk. Wait, not Real Folk Blues. I
you know the one I'm talking about though. Because it's like
what's up? It's like what's up?
Yeah, and they do some like rotoscoping animation for some of it. It's like he's just walking through New York or something. It's really cool.
You know what worked for me was Faye's episode when they started doing a montage for her and they started playing this song. I think it's called Flying Teapot. And it's like sometimes I think, oh no, yeah.
It's very whimsical, kind of.
Yeah,
like teenage whimsical, kind of.
Yeah, but it really worked. It was just kind of relaxing and everything as they go through the montage and stuff. And not to get off the topic of this soundtrack, but just real quick, one of my favorite episodes of Cowboy Bebop is where they go to get the VCRs.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that episode.
And they get a Betamax on accident.
I really love that episode. It was just, that was a slice of life comedy for me because it was just so much stupid stuff. Like when they visited the guy in
the tech guy.
Yeah, which all this stuff that's in their world and whatnot, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that you have this dude that's collecting old relics and watching a show that looks like 90210.
Yeah.
And when they start playing the tape and everything, it always got me when it was like, oh no, what's happening? It's like, oh, this just needs some tracking. You had to use tracking on these early betas. And it just remember when I used to have to do tracking on a VCR and everything, and just to have this crazy relic guy, and then Spike, of course,
just kicking it.
Spike.
What are you doing?
I mean, first of all, he breaks something as soon as he comes in. He breaks like a knob, and then he just throws it in his pocket. Like, you damn klepto. And then he starts kicking the thing.
He puts his cigarette out on one of them.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No. And then starts kicking the VCR, and it's like my shit works better when I kick it.
What I love is like the guy's flipping out. Spike is just coldly just kicking this thing, and Jet's just like, ah, shit.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm not paying for this because you fucked up our tape. Oh my god, that episode's so great. Yeah. And I love when they I forget the name of the song it is, that they play. It's either the Egg and I or the Egg and You, or it's one of the variations.
It's the Egg and I.
When they're going into Earth, into the sewer, they're having to do this Indiana Jones Uncharted bullshit to get to the thing. And what I love about it is it's like they're not playing it up as they're being like super adventurous or anything. They're just like, oh shit, that we can't get it that way. Like, it's just problem solving.
It's funny that you said like Indiana Jones-ish, because that's very much what it is. Because they're risking their lives to go and get a VCR. Like, they're not getting the Holy Grail or nothing like that. They're going to get a VCR that may or may not work.
And on top of that, to watch a tape that is not theirs, that they have no personal ties to whatsoever. Like, they only want to watch it to spite Faye. And that's my favorite part about it, is it's like they're going to like death-defying lengths. And that actually makes me think of one other thing about the show that I really like, is they kind of took a page from Star Wars, in the sense that it's that lived-in sci-fi world, but what I like about it is it feels like a genuine, natural like progression of how our world is, especially in the 90s world. Like, it's kind of timeless in that sense, because they're dealing with VHSs and stuff, but it's like, it doesn't feel like a 90s show to me. Mm-hmm. It's like it feels like it's just its own thing, but it's like a natural progression of like, oh yeah, there's this one guy who collects all these like crazy old electronics. That happens now.
Yeah.
Okay, how many times have they re-released like the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, they just did the PlayStation? It's like people are interested in that old vintage retro stuff, and that's not going to go away.
Yeah,
and I like that a show that it's 20-something years old, nearly 30-something years old, is like, hey, no, we know this is a thing.
Yeah. Like it's like they know that they're in space and everything, but they also try to root it in some kind of reality of what would happen and whatnot. Because even on, I think the second episode, where they had to deal with that dude Hakeem.
Oh yeah, Hakeem.
Who had
Abdul Hakim.
Who had
that was crazy.
face change, surgical, whatever. But
that was funny.
Spike went to that one shop. It was like a pawn shop, and he found nunchucks and stuff there. There would be all those different kind of places where you would be able to find relics and all that kind of stuff because people keep pop culture stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Well, even the pet store, it's just like you could see like everybody's kind of got this like it's got this contemporary feel, but it's also got kind of this like Middle Eastern bazaar feel to some of the stuff. Like you can find like all these different stores and stuff. I don't know. It's such a awesomely unique show for that.
What makes sense about that is there's probably a lot of people that probably traveled out that way. Just much like how you got people that travel to America or wherever, and then they're trying to make their way in that particular place, and they have like this shop or something. They're able to put up a tent and sell these particular products or whatever have you. So Cowboy Bebop is just, taking and expanding on that, but just kind of saying like, yeah, this will probably happen here in space too. Just like they just did a really good job with all of that. Yeah. But also one of my favorite things is the fact that they do have these spaceships, these aircrafts, and there are times when they just park them wherever they feel like in the middle of the street.
Like Spike in the middle of the alley. Oh my god. Yeah, it's very much still, everybody's still got the car mindset of things. And there's still cars too, but it's and more like Jet, just like, when he's pursuing the one woman, like on the thing, it's like, it feels natural. Like, okay, yeah, he's up, it's almost like just like a helicopter chase versus like a boat. I don't know, but I love when Spike, it is in the VHS episode where Spike just parks the freaking swordfish like right in the middle of a busy street and people are honking at him and screaming and he's just like
I don't know if it's that episode or the episode where they meet Ed and like they're trying to do some footwork and like walk through the different trying to get some intel from people, and I think he might have parked his ship out somewhere, or it might have been a brain scratch episode. I know Faye, there was on the Ballad of Fallen Angels, when she came to the little opera house, she went and just flew her ship right in front of whoever and parked it and told Betty to park her zip craft,
I love that they call it zip craft. It's something so simple. It's something that sounds like a marketing person came up with, There's one, speaking of like the old tech being utilized, we were forgetting the giant like obvious thing, which is there's one of the, I forget the name of the episode, but one of the final episodes of the series is like Spike is like hurtling towards Earth and the swordfish is basically dead.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yes.
And his buddy, who is his mechanic, flies up in the space. And I think it's funny enough. I think it's the Columbia, which isn't around anymore. But it's like he flies up in a fucking space shuttle, and Spike just loses the wings and just lands in the cargo hold. And I'm just like, it's great because it feels like, okay, yeah, this is believably like 100 years in the future.
Yeah. We kind of said something earlier about Spike being a show off. He is such a show off, and like everybody is just true to their characters. And Faye called him out on it on the episode because I think it was the Heavy Metal Queen episode where he was asking Faye to take the little pincers and grab the things or whatever. So they got her to open up the thing, and then Spike was like, cool, now all you have to do is just grab those things and blah, blah, blah. It's just like, easy for you, Mr. Perfect.
I also like in that episode, I like that they do acknowledge the physics of space. And like, because there's at one point where he has to eject from either the swordfish or something. Yeah, and he has to hold his nose shut. Hold his nose, yeah. And then he uses his gun as Iron Man leverage. It's like, and what's really cool is I thought, well, wouldn't the air just suck out of his ears or something? And I listened to a Joe Rogan podcast recently with Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's like, no, if you I think in 2001 they do the same thing. He's like, no, that you could do that. You could do that for a long. You'd have to go very quickly. But he said yeah, you could survive in the vacuum of space by just holding your breath and doing that and just closing your eyes. Yeah, he said that's the only other thing. You gotta close your eyes. But it's like it was just really cool because that was like, even though that was like in the show, that was like a moment of suspension of disbelief kind of thing. It still seemed grounded. Like okay, like, and the thing is, what I love about Spike is it's like he's so savvy when it comes to like doing shit, like either fighting or that kind of stuff. But then he's just a complete bonehead with other things.
Absolutely.
And it's so hilarious because, like, even with the electronics thing where he starts kicking it, he goes from, like, being this, like, John Wick level genius of, like, martial arts to just this caveman
that doesn't know how to
you
work
know?
technology at all. It's just like, how does this thing work? Like, I think that's really good. That's also the full characters. Like, not everyone's perfect. Not everyone's going to know how to do everything.
Well, do you think it's an act, or do you think, like...
No,
to an extent, it's real.
No, it's real.
That's
very
completely real.
Okay,
it's just like
because he can act too.
Even with the like that same episode with the VCRs and everything, because I love this too. Whenever they got the package, he would always open it up like because I think they offered it to Faye, like just said like the package came for you.
She
like,
had to pay for it.
Yeah, but you gotta pay for it, blah, blah, blah. And she takes off. And then it's like, well, I'm gonna send it back.
In that same moment. And like the way he examines it's like a fucking monkey looking at like something that's found in the woods.
What is this thing? This is a random question.
Yes.
I want to know how much a Wulong is. Like, can we Google that? Really
There's
quick?
no consistent thing. I've looked into this. There's no consistent because like a corgi is like nothing, but then like basic food's like expensive. I don't know.
Right. That's
and,
like,
I think that was intentional. So it's like you're just supposed to like not think too much into it, which I respect. Like like the writers and like Shinichiro Watanabe, the show like director, I really appreciate the fact that they are not shy about basically just saying, you need to just go with this. Stop trying to think about this.
Yeah.
Like, we have stuff we want you to think about.
Right. I was saying, they fleshed out so many other things that is unnecessary. Like, there would be no real need to. I just always was like, how much would that be?
Yeah. It also made sense that they were going broke all the time because if you think about all the equipment and stuff that they had.
And the repairs. Because every other episode they're repairing one of the ships.
We have to acknowledge, I guess, that when we worked it out and the guys are coming over, I'm like, well, it's lunchtime. I gotta provide lunch. I'm like, I gotta go an extra step further. So I have been cooking bell peppers and beef for a number of years now, thanks to Cowboy Bebop. But this is the first time I stayed completely true to Cowboy Bebop, in that the only beef is in the broth because you blew all your money like repairing equipment. And it
was really good. It was really good.
You.
I would actually.
I wasn't just looking for praise, but
I need to learn. I would say I need to learn how to make it because it's a quick,
it's super
easy,
simple and
healthy meal.
I'll send you the recipe because it's actually got like jet on it and everything.
Oh, nice!
Yeah,
That's
it's like heat your wok as hot as Faye Valentine.
Nice.
It's really, I don't know, but yeah, I love the fact that it's like like you did the scene where we sat down to eat. It's just like what really call it bell peppers, and Jet calls him out on it. He's just like, well, we had to pay for this and your shit and the cop you in
for the something you crashed, for the cop you injured, killed the dough.
I was reading while we were talking, or you guys were talking. I was reading that the director from the original show is actually a creative consultant on the Netflix series.
Well, that's good.
And then the writers for Thor Ragnarok and Thor: The Dark World, they're helping out too. So hopefully the writing is decent.
I need to see some footage.
I was gonna say,
I
that's
really
the biggest thing. Seeing footage.
I'll tell you. You were talking about the Syndicate prequel series. I want a prequel series, or even they could do it as a comic book, like a short mini series comic book. I want to see Jet as a cop because we get a taste.
I would
of
love that. Would be fun.
I want it animated.
Yeah, I would say I'm not gonna read the manga. I would definitely just watch it.
Well, I mean, like how American comic books do, where it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, a prequel series. I was thinking more like just with Spike in particular, but then I was thinking a little bit today. Like, it would be interesting to see like what Faye was doing to get her things.
That's true.
Going.
They never explained that.
But like how she goes from like I need to pay all this debt back to like I'm a cold killing.
Well, I'm talking about like why was she on the ship that like blew up?
Ship that blew up.
Wasn't she on the ship? She was on the ship that blew up.
That was when she was a kid. It was an accident.
Right, but why was she up there? Like
her parents.
It was a trip. I think.
It was
okay.
I think it was like a school.
Were they already going to Mars and stuff by then?
Huh?
I wasn't.
No, yeah, because
it was still in the
space.
future, but I think it was like at the beginning.
Right, because she's like 200 years old, or was it 100?
No, they said like 97 years old.
97?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hottest granny in the solar system. Something like that. But yeah, she
So for everyone listening, I am definitely watching the series again. Like this is my first pass, so I'm still like not. Everything's not soaked in.
Well, did you have a thought?
Yeah, I was saying like with Faye, just kind of seeing how she was bumming around, once she after everything that happened with Whitney, just like how she became the person that she became.
Yeah.
Like what was she doing? How did she bum around everything and start getting into all this mischief? And then like you said, seeing Jet in his time as cop, a little bit with his partner that tried to kill him.
Yeah.
I just want to throw something with that episode where, because we said at the beginning spoilers.
And his old girlfriend too.
That was cool. What I loved though is at the end of the episode where it's like basically he essentially kills his former partner, kind of revenge. As the guy's dying, he still lights him a cigarette.
Yeah,
I like that because
cool.
It's just like you're an asshole. You're dying because you're an asshole, but
I'll still give you a common decency.
Yeah. They're like I don't know. I think I like that Jet's kind of the moral barometer for the whole crew.
Yeah.
And not that he's perfect, but it's just like he's the one that kind of reminds people. It's just like, hey, fuck you, stop doing this shit. Like even in the Real Folk Blues Part 1, it was like. He was talking about how it's just like quit chasing your past, like stop doing it. Like he told this like really elaborate story, and he said he hated it, but then he was telling Spike, he's like, stop doing that.
Yeah,
just stay away from it.
Stop it. Get some help.
It was kind of funny, like especially rewatching it just now, both those episodes, how much Spike, spoiler, how much Spike alluded to his own death.
Yeah.
Which you asked Jeremiah a very, very important question, and I was like, stop, we have to record this.
Yeah.
What was the question? I forgot.
What's your interpretation? Like, do you think he's still alive? And one of the reasons I asked that is because everybody has seen Spike get pummeled.
Yes. No, I was saying, even like, he flew out the window and like got shut the fuck up. Like, he's... Yeah. So... I feel like it's pretty clear that he did die, but
is it clear?
It's not clear. I want him to be dead only because I want him to be. I don't know. I want him to be alive so I can see more of it. But I think it's a good conclusion to what that story was. I think it's a good conclusion to what that story was.
That's cool, but do you think he's...
No, I don't. Damn, I don't think he's dead. Like, because
I think he's dead.
He just comes back from everything that we've seen, and like, it's pretty intense stuff. All I saw was a shot in the arm and like a katana to the... Which will kill you, which will very much kill you.
Which, fuck the eye bullshit.
Oh, that was... Oh my god. That was... Ugh. Whenever he picked up the shotgun, I had John Wick flashbacks. I was waiting for heads to just get, like, taken away. But the sword and eye.
I like the... I think if you really, like, held, like, the director down and, like, threatened his life.
Oh, Jesus.
Things is, like, you have to tell us what do you think happened. I'm sure he would tell you he's dead.
Yeah.
I think he's probably dead, but there's two things that stick out to me. One, solidifying to me that he is dead, is the whole thing is playing up the last ride of the outlaw, where it's like, I'm going to go get shit done. I'm not coming back, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But there's this one thing that sticks out to me. As the shot keeps panning up, it eventually pans into the sky. And when it stops, there's two flickering stars. And one of them goes out, and one of them stays. And do you remember the Native American dude?
Yes.
He talks about how it's like, basically like...
Red Star.
Yeah, well, no. Whenever a star, there's a shooting star or something, that means like a great warrior has passed.
Yeah.
There's only one, and the thing is, what I read, and this is the thing that I like to stick in my head, is ideally it would have been two stars, because even though Vicious was a piece of shit, he was still a great warrior.
Yeah.
So it's like, I need to see two.
Yeah.
And like you said, he's been fucked up a lot.
Yeah.
And
that's
and I don't know if I'll be able. I might cut this out because my friend Cliff's he's actually like writing this out, but like he has like in my head canon what the ending should be, is Spike wakes up years later from like a cryotube or whatever. His wounds have healed. You know, it's like God of War. He's got like a huge gash or some shit. But he wakes up and there's this old woman, like just laughing her ass off, and she's got these insane goggles on. And then basically, he come to find out Jet passed away a long time ago, but he finally settled down, had a family. He got to have the life he wanted.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, what? He asks Ed, he's like, what about Faye? And she just starts laughing again and looks over, and there's another cryotube. And so it's like she waited for him. And I like the idea of that, because that's like the... I know it's
that's cute.
Yeah.
That's cute. But I go with especially after rewatching this just now,
he's dead.
that he's dead because of the fact, like, one of the things they kept talking about, like when Julia died, Vicious said something about like the beast has no place left to go or whatever.
Right.
Like, you know, he'll come to us. Like he doesn't have a place to go to anymore. Julia was his place.
Yeah.
Like even though he's on the Bebop with Jet and Faye, to him home was Julia.
Yeah.
That's all. Anytime he heard her name, that's where he took off to.
Yeah.
So now that that's gone, he has no place to go back to.
So he's gonna like end Vicious.
Yeah, he's gonna go and finish off Vicious and whatnot, and you know, and that be he could finally rest, because he's always said like it's like looking at a bad dream that I can never wake up from. So if he continues to live, then he's continuing to live out that bad dream. You know, and having to deal with Julia being gone, because at the heart of everything, Spike is a hopeless romantic. You know, so that's the woman he wants to be with. He said that she's the only person where he's felt truly alive. Yeah. You know, they said something about that too. Like, I think Jet said it in his speech, that about that Kilimanjaro story, that it's kind of like people they go after their past or something to see if they are truly alive or something.
Like they truly lived.
Yeah. You know.
And it's always at the end.
And then Spike said to Faye, he said that he's not going back there because he wants to. He's going to see if he really lived or something like that. You know. So there was all these allusions with all these little stuff that they were saying. Throughout those episodes that had alluded to him dying. Yeah. You know, and so
heavy foreshadowing. Heavy,
and I feel like it's better for him to be dead
as a story,
because
I think it is.
As a story, and also for him to be at peace. He wouldn't be at peace if he was still alive. He wouldn't have any. He wouldn't know what to do with himself. He's not. He doesn't want to be the leader of the syndicate. The only woman that he really loved is gone, because, you know, as much as people might want for him and Faye to be together, he doesn't feel that way about her.
He's also not a good bounty hunter. Huh? He's also not a good bounty hunter.
Who's not a good bounty hunter?
Spike. They never, like, something always happens every episode.
He does, like,
I mean, he's reckless.
He's just really reckless.
Yeah, that's it.
He's reckless. He's
really
great
good
at, like, chasing them down, but, like, succeeding officially. Maybe it's just the story, the way I was looking at it, like, the story allows it so that they can't ever collect their bounty.
But at the same time, it's taking time for me to go with him being dead, because when I first watched it, it's like no, he's not, but it's like no, it makes perfect sense.
It does, yeah.
It's more of a wholesome conclusion, and it's like, you know, there's a reason we haven't gotten a sequel series or anything, so it's like
I just want a prequel.
Yeah, no, like if anything, we just want stuff leading up to it, not additional material. I wanted to kind of jump to one thing, like going over some of our favorite episodes. One of the ones that sticks out to me as like Toys in the Attic was creepy. I'm probably going to butcher the title of the episode, but La Pierre Le Fou.
Oh,
That's
was
the most
creepy.
terrifying thing.
That was horrifying.
Let me just say this. I talked about this with my friends way back in college. It was just the fact that whatchamacallum, Pierre did like a 12-hit combo, air combo on Spike.
Straight up for real.
Like Marvel versus Capcom.
Yeah.
Air
He
combo.
juggled
Smash
that
Brothers
dude.
bullshit,
He
yeah.
juggled that dude. That was a horrifying episode. That was just his. Oh.
Even the preview. The preview is probably more horrifying because it's just him laughing.
Ugh.
And just that creepy ass grin.
Yeah.
And like the ending in the theme park, like the fight was cool and everything. It's dangerous in here.
Yeah.
But like the thing that got me was like the whole thing with the cat. And then, like, he's killed by, like, one of the giant things. I mean, it's funny, but I was creeped out by, like, and, you know, the music and how they add the, like, kind of, like, echo to it. So it sounds like what it would sound like if you're actually in a theme park, but it was just so haunting to me.
Yeah.
The whole thing was just so fucking haunting. And, like, when he murders those guys at the beginning on the fucking bridge.
Oh, yeah.
And he just shoves that one dude's head through the fucking fence.
Yeah, that fence. Yeah. But, I just thought about a funny thing on that episode was when they were at the theme park, and I think all those different puppets were coming out on it. There was this one that looked like Goofy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That came at that. I mean, it was like, hello, or whatever. It wasn't really.
It was Faye.
Huh?
It was Faye, right?
No,
Okay.
not that one. This one was like animatronic or whatever, and it wasn't really trying to attack him or anything, but he like shot it and then he just beat the shit out of it for no reason. It's like that's not who you're after, but you know he doesn't like kid stuff,
yeah,
or whatever. Anyways, oh man,
my favorite episode is the two-parter with
Jiggle the Jazz.
I think so. Jupiter Jazz is when Julia was the code name, and then the other. What's the name of the other character? I can't remember
the dude chick.
Yeah, the dude chick.
Gren.
Yes.
Gren,
I was about to say
that.
Gren, actually.
Because it introduced this other character, it gave this character a full story in 2 episodes.
It did, actually.
And it was heartfelt. It moved me. It made me want to know, like, what's going on with everything. And I think it showed a little bit more to Vicious, not just him being, like, his dickish asshole.
It gave him some depth.
It gave him some more depth. Those 2 episodes, I think, are my favorites. Because it kind of encapsulates the entire series. But kind of midway point. And it's like, you have Vicious, you have Spike. There's this other dude-woman thing that was like, I'm not trying to be insensitive.
Well, no. Like, what was the deal with that? I'm a little foggy. Super soldier serum kind of shit, or
yeah, it was like he had a hormone imbalance because I think after the military and everything, I think he said that he kind of went nuts a little bit, and they were giving him these drugs or something like that, and he ended up having like some kind of hormone imbalance.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense because that's the part I never fully like gathered. But
and like his interaction with Faye was really nice too.
Yes,
it was really sweet. It was. I love those 2 episodes because you get to see all the characters shine in multiple different ways.
But once again, like with the characters being true to their nature and everything, like it showed Faye's commitment issues. Just her like feeling abandoned, kind of a thing. So she felt like at some point the Bebop was going to abandon her. So she left, took the money and left, and
didn't she take like the coolant or something so that, like they didn't have like fresh air or some shit?
Yeah, and then and then with Grin, he was going to go and see Vicious, and so then she felt the same way again. Like, you're abandoning me too. You know, so, you know, it just, and also it was one of the first episodes besides Ballad of Fallen Angels to just kind of show that they're 3D characters and that it's not always a camaraderie there. You know, that these characters,
the friction.
Yeah, the friction.
Yeah.
And that these characters very much have their own MO. Because as soon as Spike heard the thing about Julia, he was off, and Jet's like, no, wait a minute, what about Faye? She just took our money and our coolant or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that's who you need to be going after. Like, we're partners, we're in this together. And Spike is like, no, F that, I'm going to see my woman. You could go after the other.
Yeah, I like that they have those like crossroads throughout the show where it's just like,
it's a rocky relationship.
Yeah. Well, but it's very real in that. And, you know, and I think what's so great about those is it makes like the fun episodes like even more
really
fun.
Enjoyable.
Like,
yeah.
We have to talk about Mushroom Samba because
What's that?
it's like
That's the blaxploitation.
Yeah.
One.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
That's the one where I just love that like Ed's the one who has to go get the fucking bounty and it's just a giant clusterfuck.
Or even Cowboy Funk.
Oh my god, yeah.
When that's the spaghetti western where they have
Spike is against essentially himself.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a fun one.
And the fact that they know him so well that they're like, yeah, that's because it's you, Spike.
That was a fun episode.
And he wouldn't admit it. He was so stubborn and so prideful. And then it was just like, I remember Faye, like, when she's just like, oh yeah, I'm totally gonna like sleep with this dude. And then he's just bragging about everything. He has like all the stuff with his name on. Yeah. And she comes back in the same outfit. She's just like angry, just like, you know.
Yeah.
He's just so much like Spike, and I love that. I love that, like, they had that, like, little whistle of his entrance into every scene.
Yeah.
And the poor Teddy Bomber, he doesn't want to hurt anybody. He just wants people to listen to him, and nobody wants.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
Also, like, because Spike got so involved in that and completely just forgot about the Teddy Bomber. Faye and Jet went ahead and caught the guy like real easy, and then they just were watching them. It's like, what are they doing? Are they climbing up? Yep, they're climbing up like a bunch of monkeys.
Well, I love it's like the whole thing in the elevator. It's like, well, I smart enough came in here and reverted it or to this, and Spike's like, you did what? I came in here and I reverted it. And so it's like, it's reverted back, basically back to what the Teddy Bomber had it as. So they're screwed and they just keep undoing each other. It's
yeah.
I'm really excited to rewatch the series now.
It's you get more.
I was gonna say, I feel like
so
this
much
is
to
something that I
unpack.
can definitely like find a deeper and a better appreciation going through it again, and especially like after having this conversation, because I have things to look for and things to really like appreciate as they happen. Yeah. So yeah, I'm really excited.
So favorite characters, let's go around.
Spike.
Spike, and I don't know. It's a mix up between Spike and Jet.
I don't have one. I'd say Spike because
wow,
that's the
you
one
asked us, but then you're just like, I don't know.
Well, because again, this conversation has revealed all the like wonderful things. I guess if I had to pick, it would be Spike.
Yeah.
But then it'd be a toss up between Jet and Faye, and then like I love Ed, but Ed's kind of her thing.
Yeah,
it's like, you know,
thing, yeah.
Well,
I think the relationship between Spike and Jet, I really enjoy. I really enjoy the relationship between them.
And you get it so quickly.
Do,
like just even in that first episode when they're back on the Bebop at the end of after the whole thing goes haywire, you know, he just kind of tosses him a cigarette and he just catches it, and that's just their dynamic. They flow well together. It's really cool.
Or even still that same first episode when Jet walks in on Spike after having that run in with Asimov, and it was like I don't know if he said you sleeping or he got you, huh? And it was like, yeah, but I picked this off of him while he was here. He said something meet at the Zona Norte at the end of town or whatever. And
that's where you first meet the three dipshits that are like the guys
I
playing cards
they're always playing.
They're in the movie too.
Yeah. Are they nice?
Yeah.
I was gonna say I forgot about those guys. They're funny. I enjoyed them.
I love the whole bit where like Spike's waiting on Asimov to show up, and he's just it's his exact same clothes. He's just got like one of those like poncho things and this oversized sombrero on, and he's just like, you know, I don't know. Asimov has no idea who he is. They're just like, it's like a Looney Tunes disguise, you know?
It's like I got the tomato juice.
They say that Cowboy Bebop's kind of the gateway drug for anime for a lot of people. What would you say is like your favorite anime, like kind of your pantheon of great anime that you would recommend to people?
Oh man, I was gonna say, anybody remember some favorite Cowboy Bebop quotes? But
oh well, that too. We can close on that if you want.
Okay.
I will not be assisting that because I do not remember shit for shit.
Well, maybe let's do.
You can laugh.
Maybe let's.
Y'all should still do it.
Maybe let's do the quote thing first, so he can be.
Do the quote thing,
okay,
yeah, and then I'll do the anime thing.
So, a lot of them are spikes. You know, just the thing with the kids and everything. But there was
animals and women with that.
One of my favorite quotes was from the 3rd episode where they meet Faye, but they were dealing with that gambling
the
gangster
casino dude,
yeah, Gordon, and they hit him up on the ship. It was like, you got something that I want, and I want it back. And it's like, no, it's like, I don't know who you are, but you got something I want, and I want it back. And Spike goes, well, I don't know who you are, and I'm not giving you anything. Are we done now? I love that so much.
I'm trying to think of one because the women with attitudes thing is one of my favorites. God, now I'm blanking all of a sudden. This isn't like a quote, but just like one of my favorite moments is in Mushroom Samba when they're climbing on the train and shit, and then you got the lyric like where the singer's just going mushroom hunting. I love that. But then like the best part of it is like when they finally stop everything and there's like Ein and the fucking cow, and Ein says to the cow, "Hey, thanks." And he's like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." Yeah. And then like right after that, it's like Ed lands on top of Domino. Yeah. And she's basically like, I got you. He's like, these mushrooms are worth this much. Take the mushroom.
Yeah. Oh man, it was something. I don't know what that guy's name was that was chasing after Domino, but
the one that's like Django with the fucking coffin or whatever. That's a nod to the original Django from the 60s.
Really?
Yeah. He it's the Italian film. He I assume you both seen Django and Django.
Yeah.
The Italian slaver that they're having the Mandingo fight.
Yeah, that's the original Django.
That's the original Django. That's the guy from.
Really?
Yeah. And the whole thing is the movie starts with the exact same song that starts at the beginning of Django Unchained. Django. And he's dragging this coffin behind him, and everybody the whole time throughout most of the movie is like, "What the fuck are you dragging this coffin behind you?" And then these banditos or whatever coming into town. You think he's gonna do the same thing as the guy in Bebop, where it's like, oh yeah, he's gonna put a bounty in it. It's like, no, he opens it and there's a fucking Gatling gun in it.
Nice.
And he just uses that to mow down these guys. It's a cool movie.
Nice.
It's definitely really cool.
I've seen bits and pieces of it. I want to watch the entirety
it's good.
of it. Nice.
But I thought that was cool that they had a nod to Django and talk about all the different things woven in the spaghetti westerns. There's a blatant reference to one of them. I love how he's like, I'm gonna put you in here, and then a car hits him. He's like, ah!
Yeah, that was funny.
And then Ein eats one of the mushrooms.
No, actually, it was everybody else on the Bebop when Ed experimented and had everybody eat those mushrooms, and that frog said, this is the stairway to heaven, right?
Not just a little frog.
Yeah, and he's just doing the same stuff.
See if I care.
Oh man, that was so
And then
good.
I love Jet was laughing at his bonsai trees, and then he started putting on his face like a lipstick. What the?
I love it. I really enjoyed Jet's voice actor. Jet's voice actor was not everyone did a wonderful job, but Jet's voice actor, it's so iconic to me. It's really great.
Yeah.
I'm gonna probably hate this dude that does Jet. And then TV
you
show.
probably will.
Yeah.
You're probably gonna hate it.
Hate all of it.
Welcome to the cult. There's another part where in the Pierre LeFou one where Jet finally figures out all the information. He goes to tell Spike, and Spike's like, I don't need it anymore. Click.
Yeah.
And then I like how he teaches the one guy on Venus how to fight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was a sad episode. I love that episode.
That was really good. But
there was some stuff on that episode. Like Faye was working overtime actually on that episode to get information and stuff. And there's a scene where she busts into these folks' bedroom. It's two guys that's having sex.
Right.
If you didn't notice.
I didn't even know.
Yeah.
What? No.
And she runs up to him and she puts the gun in the guy's mouth. And she's like, where's the blah blah blah? You're like, oh, and it's like, what? I can't hear that. Like,
it's Samuel L. Jackson bullshit.
yeah, but it was some badass stuff from Faye. And I remember the episode with the Heavy Metal Queen where Faye, they're trying to find that dude Decker that does all the bombs, and she goes into that little not cafe, but that
it's like a diner kind of thing.
Diner, yeah. And she thinks it's this one guy because Decker has a tattoo.
it's the nerdy guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And he was I have a thing for eels or something like that. Keep it covered. You know.
I've remembered the line I was thinking of. It's not something that Faye says. It's something Spike says in the movie. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna ruin this for you. I love a woman who can kick my ass.
I was thinking about that too. Actually, what I love from the movie, just go ahead and uncover your ears.
Oh, it's good. I didn't hear anything. I'm excited.
Because there was this quote too from the movie. They all were saying it. Because, when Faye said that she had ran into such and such person, and she tried to draw a picture of the guy, and they couldn't tell what it was. And so I think either Jet or Spike said, oh, well, there's another episode of Wasting Time with Faye. Oh, God. And then she got him back with it, though. Oh, man. So
there's just some of the, like, a lot of this is how good the dialogue is. So much of it's so good. It's like, it just kind of washes over you before you even realize what they've said. Mm-hmm. And, there's something, or this isn't something that's said, but at the end of the one with Jet and his backstory with the girl and everything, I love how he's kept that compass from her the whole time, and he just chucks it into the river. I thought that was just, I don't know. There's so many neat little things.
I really liked the episode where they find Ed's dad, and they arrive there on Earth, and Jet wakes up and he's like,
why are we here?
Yeah.
Why are we here? Like, what the hell?
It's like, Jet, the girls are gone. Yeah. He's just up on the ship brushing his teeth.
And then later on in the episode, it's that same episode where I think Faye had come back and then she leaves again. And Jet's like, what the fuck? And he's just like, oh, yeah, and Faye's gone again. It's just like, he's so nonchalant about everything.
I would imagine it's like being a parent and having a house full of teenagers.
Yes, what it
coming
is
and
for
going.
him.
You know?
Because he says it sometimes like they think this is a babysitter or something like that. Like he says it. Also, there was, I don't know which episode it was, but I think it was one where they were supposed to get the bounty for something. They didn't end up really getting that bounty. And then you just see this foot just kick the TV in his spike.
Of course, he's always the one that has to like manhandle everything.
But actually, yeah, it was a couple of things on the episode with Whitney Haggis Matsumoto. That was a line that Spike said. So she was outside the restaurant. She was telling the story to Ein, and then Spike walks out. And she was like, you were in there the whole time listening? It's like, yeah, your story's too long. Needs editing.
that kind of goes back to like what I said earlier about the whole thing with, you sing off key.
Yeah.
There's I don't know. I like how those two just bitch at each other.
Yeah,
all the time.
I think that is the relationship.
They all bitch at each other except for Ed.
Yeah,
because
Ed and Ein are just kind of the kids.
Yeah,
you know?
Very much so.
Because she'll bitch at Jet just like what I was telling you about with Cowboy Bebop the movie. Because she was bitching at him on that. Oh, she bitched at him on on Ballad of Fallen Angels because like that's when Jet and Spike get in a fight. It's just like, oh, y'all had a fight.
Well, I love the whole like at first when she's like going after him, it's just like, or no, when she calls trying to like get them to come save her, they hang. I think Spike hangs up on her. He's like, tough shit, you're gonna have to deal with it yourself.
Jet, he starts to hang up on her, and
that's right.
And then Spike, he's like, no, wait a minute, where are you at? And she was like, really, you gonna come and get me? I'm at such and such a place, and it's like, yeah, we'll come and get you. Don't take it personal though.
I don't know why this just pops into mind, but like, you remember? I think it's the episode with Ayn. I think it's the second one. Where they're chasing Abdul Hakim or whatever.
Yeah.
And he, like, that guy bumps into him at the bar, and he smashes that cockroach, which is already nasty enough, but then he puts in the drink and it forces the guy to drink it. That was fucked up.
Yeah.
You know? He's like, it's on me.
But there was also just those guys that were trying to find Ayn. They had a good little comedic.
Seems that way.
Yeah, they had that too. But they had another good little comedic spot where it was like, we're going to have to use the dog whistle. And they're like, okay. And the dude turns it on. It's like, is it working? I can't hear it. It's like, the dog whistle, you can't hear it with human ears.
You think the scientists who are experimenting with this dog would understand that?
And then he says, like, I knew that. I was just testing you. Oh, man.
I can't remember the exact dialogue, but it's on the one where Spike has to get a ship fixed, and it's the space shuttle one.
Yeah.
I think that's called Wild Horses.
Yeah.
It's a Rolling Stones song, but
yeah.
It's really funny because like he's in the car with the kid who's like the apprentice, and he won't shut up, and he's like, "Has anyone ever told you don't shut up?"
Yeah. No, he said, has anyone has the kid says to him, he's like, has anybody ever told you don't talk a lot? It's like, has anybody ever told you talk too much?
Yeah, that's it.
He was so annoyed on that episode. Oh man, but I also liked on the Heavy Metal Queen episode where like he's making that prairie oyster.
Oh yeah, it's like a raw egg.
The drink to get rid of the hangover, and that guy bumps into him. Just the look on his face and everything, and then he punches somebody. It's like, you ruined my prairie oyster, and just starts beating folks up.
Nice. Remember the I can't remember the exact episode. I think it's called Sympathy for the Devil. Actually, now that I think. Yeah. The one with the kid who's like not aged. That was very.
Oh
strange.
wow! I see. That's another good thing about this show is like I forget about all the things that you actually like watched and experienced. That was crazy.
Yeah. What got me was like when Spike, like that dude gets thrown out the window. Spike catches him on the wing of the swordfish and he lands it. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, obviously it's leading to the bounty, but like I like that Spike has those random moments where he's like very moral and he's like, oh my god, this is horrible, I have to help somebody.
Yeah.
And it was like the thing on the Waltz from Venus when at the end of the day the one guy got killed, but he manages to like help it so his sister can see. Yeah. It's so sad. Like at the end, it's just like she's asking where her brother is, and if he doesn't say anything, she's like, "Oh,
he's probably doing some messed up stuff."
Yeah, and then Spike just goes like, "Your brother was a good man." It's really cool to see like Spike, who's this like rough and tumble kind of. He can be kind of a dipshit and he can be kind of a genius in combat, but then he has these like really heartfelt human moments.
Yeah, I think he's a lot more human than what he's probably
like he's projecting.
Yeah. But also it's the episode with once again with Whitney, because there was after they were telling the story, after they found Whitney and everything, it was a few things. Excuse me. So they were talking and stuff, and Jet was saying like women don't work on tact, like blah 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 blah.
Emotion.
Yeah, and then the gravity started going, and it was like Jet, she's helping him, and it was like, I'll give you 2-1, and then they're trying to get down.
Swim.
And then when Faye, she said, it was like, Faye, that Spike's bounty, he should get the money for it or whatever. And she was like, well, I got some relationship issues that I need to work out with this guy, so I get him and the bounty on this. Is like, is it me or does that not make any sense?
I thought of another line Spike says to Faye when they like it's an earlier episode. Basically, they're getting their shares of the bounty, or no, she's wanting the shares of the bounty from him, and they basically do like a little like wire transfer of their phones essentially, and then he just goes like, "So you have to deposit it to the casino."
Yeah.
And she's like, "What's good if, or what's the good of it sitting in a bank?" And Spike's just like,
Yeah. You were saying the anime gateways.
Yeah. What were some you both recommend? That came with my Blu-ray set, and it's like it's got a bunch of like the concept art and like character breakdowns. That one's more of like just like the general like art, but that one's got like a lot of the breakdowns and stuff too.
Nice. Recommended anime for me, number 1, Panty and Stalking with Garter Belt. It's a phenomenal show. It's a comedy anime. It's phenomenally funny. Very crass, but that's my type of humor. Then Black
I think
Lagoon,
people who listen to this podcast that same humor.
Black Lagoon, A+.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm gonna have to end it off with the Orion High School Host Club. If you want that like feel good but kind of lost in the world type feeling, like that's what that is. Like that'll be my top 3 as of now. That might change soon.
It's a lot of stuff for me, but it's usually something that might be a little bit more grounded. Like I would never tell somebody to go and watch Dragon Ball Z or Naruto or something like that. I would tell Cowboy Bebop definitely.
Yeah.
That's at the top of the list. But other anime would be like Darker Than Black, Erased that I had mentioned earlier. The Devil Is a Part-Timer.
I've heard of that. Is it good?
I've not watched it.
It is really good because it's just this off-the-wall fantasy comedy, and they do it very well. I really love. It's difficult. We're gonna. Soul Eater is good, but it kind of gets a little wonky at the end.
See, my problem with Eureka 7. It got really wonky towards the end.
It did.
There's been a few animes that I've watched where it's like really good up until like towards the tail end, and you're just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Because like the TV series for Neon Genesis Evangelion is really good until we get to the end.
That's what
I'm gonna be honest. It's on Netflix now. I've been watching it. I'm bored.
My friend says it's really good, and I need to watch it.
I mean, I'm gonna just keep going with it, but it's
what
like
episode?
And
I think I'm only on the 4th episode.
So
this
is a slower episode, so it gets better as it
goes.
I've
always been told like watching television shows, watch at least 3 episodes to get into it, but anime you have to watch at least 5 to 6.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Yeah, depending on the show. Like for me, I think it was 4 or 5 for Attack on Titan before you found out before Aaron died. Like, he died, and I was like...
Oh, it took a long time for me with Attack on Titan. Really? I hate Eren.
He annoys the shit out of me.
I hate him so much.
Like, Levi? Love him.
I love Levi.
I love, like, when he's, like, you know, in full, like, spring cleaning mode. That's so funny to me.
I've only seen... Have they done season 3 yet?
I haven't seen season 2.
Yeah. I've seen bits and pieces of season 2. I haven't seen season 3.
I read a lot of the
season
manga.
3 was really good.
Was it? Okay.
Because I read a lot of the manga, and I read very far ahead, because it was like they had the one season of the anime that came out in 2013, and then it was just dry for like 2 or 3 years.
Well, I heard
and then they finally picked it up.
No, it was way more than 2 or 3 years.
It was maybe like 4.
Yeah, it was like 5, I thought. Because
it was too damn long is what it was.
I heard they were waiting that long so that the manga could get farther ahead than how quickly they would make the TV show.
I mean, yeah, but I still feel like they could have done like a second season and then paused.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like I said, I read so much of the manga that I kind of just like by the time the anime came out, I didn't really care anymore. Yeah. And I am very curious because there's this really cool arc that happened in the comics where it was like there's like a little western feel to it, and like kind of like gunslingers and shit, and I kind of want to see how they do that.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
But that might be the season that's about to come out.
Okay.
But yeah, I love the animation style Attack on Titan, but it's definitely one of those where it's like stuff happens, it's really slow, and then stuff happens again. Although, have you seen the Abridged?
Nah.
I need to watch the Abridged.
Oh my god. Okay, so the whole bit in boot camp is the greatest thing. The drill sergeant's like, well, I've never seen such a pile of whippersnappers in my whole life, and he calls what's the fucking blonde dude's name?
Armin.
Yeah, I think he calls him like European Carrot Top or some shit like that. he has names for everybody, and Sasha's so fucking funny because like there's this one part where they're on the wall, and she's just like, you know, because she's obsessed with food, she holds up like a piece of meat. He's like, who's gonna help me eat this? It's like, well, you stop this and like pay attention. She's like, fine, I'll put it in my special box. It's so stupid and funny, but it's like they only did one episode before they got CMD'd. But it was so gold.
Oh, wow.
It was by the Team 4-star guys too. It was so good, but they had to stop for whatever reason. And like when Aaron's mom gets like eaten by the Titan, it's like it happens. Like the Hans is like, look away, don't look at it. And then obviously she gets eaten, and then all of a sudden like you hear the first bite, and it's like, hello darkness, my old friend. It's so funny, but yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry, I kind of just like took that.
Oh no, that's fine.
Just ran with it.
Very good.
Yeah, but yeah, Neon Genesis, it's like the whole first episode is about like building up to like the whole Eva, and then like, you know, the kid comes into play and everything, and then it's just like he doesn't want to do it, and then he's like, fine, I'll do it, and then they did the thing that the 2014 Godzilla movie did that pissed me off. You know, he's out there, he's in full robot mode, they're about to duke it out, episode ends, but then
there you go, found it.
But then the next episode you think, okay, so they're gonna throw down at the beginning of the episode. No, it's like the aftermath, and then it's like at the tail end of the episode, oh yeah, by the way, this happened.
Oh wow.
And it just kind of pissed me off.
I hear to really enjoy Evangelion is to actually follow the production of it, because they went through a lot of production craziness as the seasons went on, especially when you get to the movies. So if you look at like the production side of it and watch the show, you'll see a lot of crazy shit.
You saw the Godzilla movie he made, right?
No.
Shin Godzilla? It's fucked up.
Is it?
It's fucked
because
up.
if you like, the more you watch Evangelion, it gets more fucked up.
Yes.
Like super fucked up.
But
my friend like broke it down for me.
But yeah, so now some of these are, well, I would not recommend FLCL. People
swear by it. I remember watching the first series, and I was like, it's cool, but it's not. I wouldn't
recommend it, but I would say Darker Than Black. I would say, like I said, Cowboy Bebop, Darker Than Black. I forgot. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Ooh.
So that was a really good one. And like I said before, Erased and what was it? Devil is a Part-Timer. Those would be some of the ones, and that's just keeping up with some of the recent stuff that's been out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
well,
just off the top of my brain.
Yeah.
I'll answer it, and I have a question for you. For me, I haven't started watching Brotherhood yet. I'm watching the original one just because I saw a lot of that when I was a kid, and I want to see that through. But then I've heard like full Brotherhood like has a much harder punch with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really enjoying that. Obviously Cowboy Bebop, Black Lagoon, just because like I actually saw Black Lagoon like right after I finished Cowboy Bebop, and it was exactly what I needed. It's like I don't need feels immediately, just throw me into some action. Then the feels happen. But then I haven't seen it in years, but I remember enjoying it even if it got a little weird, and it was Eden of the East.
It was weird.
I liked the characters, it just got really weird.
Yeah.
Like all the naked nerds.
The neats.
Neats?
Yeah.
Were they people? Were they not
I think they were like shut-ins.
Oh, but they were all like naked and fucking it? I don't know. That was when it got really fucking weird. But
can I not, speaking of Full Metal Alchemist, can I skip Full Metal Alchemist and just watch Brotherhood? Or should I?
Actually.
Okay, cool.
You can just watch Brotherhood.
Okay.
I'm just doing, like I said, I'm just doing the originals because I.
How long is
both of them? Both of them are almost the same length.
Okay.
The thing with the first version was the source material wasn't completed, so a very Game of Thrones kind of a thing. So once they finished all those episodes that they had the source material, then they started writing the stuff on their own.
Gotcha.
And I mean, it still is done well for what it was, but then Brotherhood came out, and Brotherhood was with the completed source material.
Is it kind of a retelling of?
it's a retelling, but they kind of do it shorter and they touch on some other things too. But also, there's these other characters that you don't meet in the first series that's in this one, and that are essential to the storyline and everything. And like it's just a richer storyline. Like everything makes it is the better of the two.
Gotcha.
You know. So
I've heard the animation's like a little step up to better
for Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Actually, personally, I enjoyed the animation from the previous one, even though that animation could have like I can't even, like the quality can
like
kind of fluctuate a little bit here and there. I actually enjoyed that animation, I think, more than this one, because it's just little stuff like Brotherhood. If the first one it was brighter. And like even like backgrounds and everything look much tighter, whereas this one it's kind of like more painted on backgrounds, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And the color looks a little bit more drab on this one. And then also I like the comedy that was in the first one more than I like the comedy in the second one. It almost feels like they're trying too hard in Brotherhood, but even with all of that, Brotherhood is still the superior version. So they both have their pros and cons, but I feel like Brotherhood is definitely the superior version. And like once they really get into the story with like their father and the homunculus and just how all that came to be, like it's really good.
I just wanted to I just want to talk about an episode or two episodes that really fucked with me from just the original series.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Well, I haven't finished it yet, so
I still think I know what you're talking
about. It's when basically the one dude has he's trying to like, I can't remember exactly what he's trying to do, but basically he uses his wife and his dog and his daughter as like experiments.
It makes a chimera.
Yeah, that fucked with me a lot. Especially like when like it starts speaking to Edward, and it was just like, oh fuck.
I kind of watched just that. Could I pick up just those two episodes? I like weird shit every once in a while.
They touch on it in Brotherhood, but I don't think they touch on it as much as they did on that first series.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that messed with me just because it's like, you know, you just want the guy to like be able to be with his kids and everything. It turns out he's just kind of a fucking monster, and it was just,
What was the other one?
Oh, that was really the one. Oh,
was that a 2-part?
When they finally did the whole story about their mom, and like when they go back to like get themselves touched up, and you hear about how they burned down the house and everything. It's just like, I don't know. The more they unpack it, I mean, it just fucked with me a lot.
Yeah.
It's one of those shows where it's wonderful and I like watching it, but I have to like kind of pace it out a little bit just emotionally. There's just a lot that happens. But I guess like other things I recommend, I'm still kind of like figuring out like what I like and what I don't like. Like I had a lot of like kind of Inuyasha kind of stuff. Like it was really saturated around the people I spent time with when I was like in high school and middle school, and I just like it was too fantasy for me, like way too like, I don't know, anime-y for me.
I watched Spirited Away recently, and I'm like, it's okay.
I like the Miyazaki movies.
I like the look of it. I don't like the story or anything really. But I think it's great. I mean, it's
I like Mononoke. Have you seen that?
I've not seen that.
It's like
it's good.
I think it's what
Spirited Away just bored me and put me to sleep, to be honest.
Okay.
Okay. But I really like Samurai Champloo. That's kind of like the one people always say, like, it's like the kind of sort of the companion series to like Cowboy Bebop. It's so different, but it's like it basically does like what Cowboy Bebop does with like jazz and funk, and it does it with like hip hop and rap.
Really?
It's really cool. It's Samurai Champloo. Okay. It's on Hulu as well.
That one is okay to me. Like I had to come to terms with that.
I like the ending a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just felt. I don't know. I need to watch it again because I've only seen it once all the way through. But I did really like it. And I like the characters and I like how they bicker and shit.
Have either of you watched Afro Samurai?
No, and I want to see it
back
so bad.
When? Was it like? Because I remember watching like an episode and I don't remember watching it. I know I watched the episode.
Movie.
Oh, there's a movie too. Okay.
Is Sam Jackson in both
he does the
of them?
voice.
Okay, yeah.
I know at least for the anime, I believe.
But yeah, with But Samurai Champloo, that one was like I really liked it when I first started watching it, but then it didn't feel like where Cowboy Bebop really hit that jazz and funk and everything. I felt like they didn't really hit on that as much. There were certain things I felt like they could have kept going with. Like they had an episode where they actually had some dude that was one of the bandits that had kind of like a microphone. Like he would kind of rap what they were about to do or something. It's been so long since I've seen it. And it was like, that was hilarious. I like what they did there, but it just needed to be more of stuff like that, or with the music. And then also the story was just, it felt kind of just drawn out.
It was.
Because
It
was a very simple thing where these three different characters, very different characters from different walks of life, they meet up, and the two warriors or whatever, they decide to help this girl Fu. She's looking for her father, the samurai that smells like sunflowers, and that's it. Okay. And so they just go on this journey, and so it's just all these different random encounters and stuff that they get into, but the story isn't really too heavy, and there are times when it gets very weird because they had this zombie episode.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, and if you remember how it ended, it was very weird.
It was them trying to do toys in the attic, but it wasn't. It's like they.
Then they had a baseball episode.
That one was interesting. I liked the one where, because it was really funny. It was the one where the artist is like, he's having like Fu like model for him, and he's like a total like scumbag and all this stuff. I thought that was funny. It was weird.
I liked the episode where they came into contact with this ninja girl that needed help, and I think whatchamacallum started helping her because they were attracted to her.
Oh, right.
And she was using them to help out her people or whatever, but it was some really good fights and stuff in that one.
I like the one with the kind of the giant dude who's kind of like the disfigured, and everybody thinks he's a monster, and then like Fu and him kind of have like a relationship. It was very Frankenstein like.
I forgot about that one. It's been so long since and I have that series on DVD.
Same.
Yeah.
It's there's another one where it actually might be like the dual story in that episode, but like there's like this guy who's trying to kill the guy with the glasses. I forget his name. Mm-hmm. But basically like they go to have a fight, and then basically it was that same episode, because it's like they go to have a fight, they start fighting, and he's like complimenting, he's like, you are a very like well-rounded warrior and all this stuff, and then the guy who was going to basically pay him the bounty, he saw him get killed across the river, and he's just like, well, my work here is done. Maybe we'll cross paths again. And then at the end of the episode, they do cross paths, and they basically are like, okay, let's do this. And they have this like really elaborate fight and everything. And obviously the dude with glasses wins. But what was cool was, and I just love the shot, and I love how the music was played out. It's just like the dude's like leaned over, like, because it's like samurai, like this slicing thing. He's just kind of like knelt over like this. But he's got a smile on his face, and his eyes are closed, and the dude has left his sword like in the ground, like right next to him, and it was just like the music and everything. It was just really, really well done.
Yeah.
Actually, nice. I would go ahead and recommend, even though I'm sure people don't remember this anime as well, but I talked about it earlier, is The Vision of Escaflowne. It was just a good fantasy mesh of an anime. And at that point in time when I was watching it, like, I was very much into RPGs. And so this was, even though it didn't have any magic in it, it just felt very much like that, especially with Yoko Kanno on the soundtrack and everything. Like, it was some stuff on there that was beautifully done and just made me feel like I'm in a different world kind of a thing. And they had some really good characters on there. Unfortunately, the English dub version is a terrible version, because it was a popular series. They tried to bring it out onto TV, but they tried to bring it out onto like Fox TV. It was like Fox Kids. They went and butchered the shit out of that TV show. They butchered the intro, because they did, instead of the beautiful intro that I love, they went and meshed up this intro and did like some Americanized song where they just repeat the title over and over. Escaflowne or something like that. I was very pissed off.
Trying to be kids. Look at us.
And then there's a lot of blood and stuff that happens in this show, even though it's kind of like a fantasy, romantic, action kind of thing or whatever. But the first episode, they had already spliced different stuff that's in other episodes into this first episode.
Oh, wow.
Stuff that you're not supposed to see until like episode 20 or something like that. My God. They done went and edited and put into this first episode. And they're just like cutting all kinds of corners. Like, I'm watching it. I'm watching this Frankenstein.
Look how they massacred my boy.
Yeah. I'm just like, what is this? And it got canceled.
I can't imagine why.
I was so happy when it actually got canceled. I was like, this is not the way anybody's
It's like you took it out back and shot it.
Yeah, it was so bad.
There's one other series I just remember because you were talking about like kind of something you remembered vividly. This is probably my favorite thing growing up, and no, I'm not going to say Pokemon because fuck that first movie. But Zoids. Specifically, Zoids Chaotic Century. The one where it's like there's a war going on, there's an empire, there's a resistance. Not that fucking shit with the white liger. Is that the one you like?
Hold up. The one that I ended up liking, because I was watching it on TV. I think it was on Toonami or something. It wasn't the one where it was like they had battles and tournaments and stuff. It was
the blue
one,
liger?
Huh?
With the blue liger and the little dinosaur dude?
I guess, I don't know, because all the guys, the main characters were like teenagers or something. The one that I liked was the one where it's like more kind of apocalyptic a little bit. Mm-hmm. That was the version I liked. Yeah. I was like, what is this?
Yeah,
like
you and I like the same version.
Yeah, so it was like this.
I vaguely remember Zoids. I vaguely remember it.
I liked it because it was like the first. It's almost like I don't know if it was 2 series or 2 seasons or whatever, but basically
it had
it's
to
like,
be.
The first half of it is like it's this kid. He finds this blonde girl in this cave in this like capsule thing. It's like some Superman shit where it's like she's like from an old civilization, and he also finds like this little like dinosaur Zoid, but he's like he could think for himself and all that stuff.
Right.
And basically he befriends that little guy. They go out into the desert where there's all these ruins and shit, and he resurrects a blue shield liger. And so because the kid's dad was he was Van's the kid's name. He died. The kid's dad died in the war. And there's this war that's been going on for years. So he resurrects this liger, and then that's basically where the adventure starts. They start to meet all these other people throughout. They're like trying to figure out who the fuck this girl is. And then it does like a time jump where it's like, I don't know, like 5-7 years in the future, they're all adults, and that's like the culmination of like all the fucking war shit. I mean, it's literally like they took like that later half of the series was like, it was like Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi meets like Lord of the Rings. It was like really tense, and I remember the ending was awesome. I'm
not sure if I made it to the ending.
If you ever get a chance to find the ending and watch it, it's so good.
Yeah, so it was this one.
Yes, that's it, yes.
Yep, that was the one that I liked.
Do you vaguely remember this show? I remember the action figures more so.
You know what was also oddly good? First of all, I did like Wolf's Rain, but I wouldn't necessarily...
Never seen it.
I wouldn't necessarily recommend it because it's kind of a depressing anime a little bit once it gets to the later episodes and stuff. But dang it, I did enjoy it, and the animation is really freaking beautiful on there. But what's the name of it? Gurren
Lagann?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's fun.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
That ended up being a lot better than what I thought, and just kind of the same thing where they're growing up and whatnot. And as goofy and off the rail as it can be, they had some very touching moments in that series, especially like between Simone and Kamina. I think that was his name. You know, so it's on Netflix right now.
You just briefly jump to like, I guess just films. Have you seen Akira?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like, it was cool, but I don't know what the fuck I watched, you know?
I mean, I have a better handling on it now. Like, what didn't you get?
The whole thing, for the most part. Well, okay, I'll tell you what I understood. So it's like, you've got Kaneda, you've got his buddy who's... Kaneda?
That's how it was originally said.
Oh, okay.
They redubbed it.
Right. I've seen the dubbed version on Hulu. And it's like, it's him, it's the, his buddy who's like... Tetsuo, yeah. And then it's like their gang and everything. Okay, it's like kind of like a, like a cyberpunk like future, whatever. Mm-hmm. They're the kids that are being experimented on. They basically pushed it too far. The kids with superpowers, they pushed it too far, and basically they blew up the fucking city, essentially. And I guess I'm just trying to figure out, honestly, the ending. I don't understand the ending.
The ending? Yeah, that was a weird one, and I've read up on that a little bit, too. I think that was another, like, whole interpretation, but it was like those psychic kids, and just with Akira's power, they prayed, they brought him back, and they basically took Tetsuo to a different dimension because he basically had the power of a god.
And they knew
and
he couldn't stay. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and he wasn't able to control it.
Right.
So I think that was basically what happened.
I gotcha, yeah.
Yeah.
It's some of the coolest like animation I've seen. Like,
and that was like 89 or something.
Yeah. It was pretty groundbreaking, and none of it was rotoscoped from what I could tell. It was really, really cool, but I haven't seen, other than that, like the Miyazaki films, I've only seen like a handful of like anime, like just standalone films, and the other one was Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. Mm-hmm. My friend Christian recommended it, and he gave me a copy, and I watched it, and it was so cool, and I wanted more, but it just kind of ends. I'm like, shit,
Yeah. There's some good stuff out there here and there, and just the 80s were very much more experimental as far as with their movies, and a lot more graphic, because there's Demon City Shinjuku that I think people enjoyed, but that's kind of graphic. But one of the ones that I really liked, I got this on DVD, was Ninja Scroll.
Mm-hmm.
That's very graphic, but
in a good way.
Yeah, in a very good way. Like the animation, I think it came out like 95 or whatever, and I remember I used to see different little commercials and stuff, or snippets, clips of it, and just like these ninjas jumping around, and just like the animation just so freaking detailed, but everything moving so fucking fast.
Mm-hmm. Very fluid.
Very fluid.
Who is this?
Which
one was this one?
This is Ninja Scroll. It's probably on Hulu, or probably on Hulu, maybe. You should be able to find it. And that's the movie, not the TV series. They did a TV series years later that doesn't stand up to the movie. But I remember even MTV, like, they were celebrating Ninja Scroll, and I thought that they were going to show the movie. They never showed the movie. They just showed clips of it all day. But daggone it, if those clips didn't look cool, it made me just, like, not knowing exactly what it is made me want to watch it more. And back when Blockbuster and Hollywood Video was a thing, these were my anime ventures. I would go in there and just, whatever anime they had, I just give it a chance, look at the picture. That's how I ended up looking at Akira, because you got Kaneda with the bike and everything. It's like, what is this about? Mm-hmm. Like, this is a cool looking bike, cool looking dude, whatever. And ended up watching it, it's like, what the fudge did I just watch? But Ninja Scroll, that thing was awesome. Whatchamacallem, the main character, Jubei Kimagami, he's very kind of like a Spike Spiegel kind of a character, but just a samurai that just kind of in the wrong. just in the wrong place at the wrong time, ends up getting chased by these demons. It was called the 8 Demons of Kimon. And they actually had a relationship to somebody that he thought he had killed earlier. And he ends up being saved at a certain point by this little samurai. But the dude throws like a ninja star into his arm because he's seen an illusion, and so when a ninja star hits his arm, then he unsees the illusion. He's able to defend himself. But the dude's name is Dakuan that throws the ninja star. But once that everything is over with, he's like, Dakuan's like, I could use a swordsman like you. I could use your help. You know, I'm a government spy. Blah 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 blah. And Jubei is like, I don't have any plans to work for a government spy, whatever, you know, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
But finds out that ninja star is poisoned.
Shit.
And that Dakuan is the only one that knows how to cure it.
Gotcha.
So then he works for Dakuan and ends up getting tied up in trying to kill these 8 devils of Kimon.
Gotcha.
And there's another important character in there too that they end up traveling with. But yeah, it's good. What's another one? Because there were if you watch a video game, a video game adaptation, there was some good movies off of that. Street Fighter the movie was a really good adaptation, and so there was this series called Fatal Fury. So used to be that company SNK. They had a bunch of different fighting games, and Fatal Fury was one of their flag series, and they did 3 movies. The first one is crap. The second one is a lot better, and then the third one is just like this Indiana Jones-esque kind of a movie, but still with them doing like fighting moves and stuff.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And so the main character is Terry Bogard, and he's kind of like the Ryu character, but kind of cooler.
Yeah.
You know, he's not walking around barefoot everywhere. You know, but the dude, I don't know, it's hard to describe him, but it's good, it's fun. What's some other movies? Because Castle Cagliostro, that's still what's his face?
Miyazaki.
That's still Miyazaki.
Yeah.
It's a Lupin movie, but they say like the best in the series of movies that Lupin has had.
Right. Because I think that's where he kind of got his footing with that before he started doing his own stuff.
Yep.
Really.
Yep. So I'm trying to think of other standalone ones. Ghost in the Shell, I need to re-watch that one. You didn't like it?
No. I think that now here's the funny thing with Ghost in the Shell. I've seen the movie multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
Animation's cool. I don't give a fuck about any of the characters.
I can see that.
I watched the TV show. Animation's great, and I give a fuck about the characters. I just think it's just one of those kinds of stories that just works better as a series than as a standalone story. There's too much going on in terms of like concepts and thinking that I think for them to like try to do it all in one movie, it's just I don't know.
Yeah.
I love the shots, and I will commend the live action adaptation in the sense that they did recreate some of the more iconic shots from the original film very well. I thought like there's one part where basically the Major's fighting like this dude in the middle of like it's like there's these buildings and like it's like flooded over and everything, and it's cool how like they did recreate a couple beats really cool, but it's still like I just didn't give a fuck. I just saw it because all controversy.
Well, I mean, they said like the original was very philosophical.
It was a little too philosophical.
Whereas, you know, which I still would have. I haven't seen the live action version, but I would have preferred them doing the philosophical one as opposed to what they said the live action version was, which was like a revenge story.
They tried to do the philosophical thing, and then it became a revenge story, and it was the effects are really cool. Like the opening bit, like with the geishas, is amazing, and it's like practical effects too. So I'm like really into it. And Weta, who did Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit films and like King Kong, they did the effects for that. It looks awesome. But it's like, you know, I can applaud the production quality, but like the storytelling just wasn't there.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of standalone movies. Perfect Blue was good. I recently saw that at the Plaza Theater. I forgot I think the dude's name is Satoshi Kon, and they said like, what was that movie? Inception. Inception got some ideas from, I think, Perfect Blue and
Paprika.
So
Definitely Paprika.
But yeah, Perfect Blue is a psychological thriller.
Okay.
And it's good. The animation does look dated, and there's some things that I didn't like about it, but for the most part, it mind fucks you.
Yeah.
It definitely does that, because me and my buddy went and saw it, and then we were having conversations after it, like, you know, what was that all in her head, or was this part real, or, you know, like, he did a good job with that, you know. I haven't seen Paprika yet. That was the next one.
It was interesting. It was definitely like one of those, because I watched it with the concept of like, okay, Inception borrowed a lot from this, and it's very, very vibrant, but it's like, it's different enough. I don't know. It gets a little in the weird territory, but with what it's doing, I'm okay with it. Like, my thing is, like, if the concept for the story or whatever is supposed to lean into the weird, like if you're doing all these weird things, and fine, but when it's just self-indulgence, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I finally watched Metropolis. I ended up watching that. It's on YouTube. And it has a very old animation style, because I think the person that created it passed away, and that this was created way back when or whatnot. And also it has some influence from the earlier, I think, Americanized movie, if I'm right, or is it German?
The German silent film, yeah.
So had influence from that. It was good. There was you know, just like anything, there was good things that I liked about it, things that I didn't like. The action in it was it was some things in it that was kind of wonky, because there's this one character that kept threatening to shoot people, and he wasn't really shooting anybody. It was weird. But like, the animation for it was beautiful, and like the colors and stuff for it, there was some really good stuff about it. I don't know, but you should check it out.
I guess my last question, because you are an actor, I was curious if Cowboy Bebop has influenced any of your acting.
Well,
because I see a little bit of Spike in you with some of your manners and how you say
I appreciate that. That's a high compliment. I can't say that Spike has influenced me.
I can. You are a hopeless romantic, just like that motherfucker.
But he said in acting.
In acting, true. Okay,
well,
yeah.
Okay, well, why that to you and
as a
your
person.
craft as a person?
I want to say as a person.
Okay, as a person.
Do both. Do both.
All right. Well, not so much my craft, because if I'm trying to be like Spike in my craft, Spike actually works hard. I haven't been working as hard as I need to, because like, for him to, you know, do Jeet Kune Do and just he shows off, because he's got the skills, which he had to practice in order to get those skills. I don't practice or enough, whether it's dancing or playing guitar or whatever have you, to where I can go and just show off and be, you know, like that. As far as acting, it hasn't. He hasn't really influenced me there. Nah, but as a person, I wish I could be like Spike, and there are always times where I want to be like suaver, smoother. Like,
you're pretty smooth though.
Yeah.
See, that's the perception that everybody gets in my own head. Like, I'm not seeing that. I'm not feeling that. There are times when, you know, I want to be kind of like that cool loner, but I'm not a loner. I want to be around people, very much more social and whatnot. Hopeless romantic, yes. So,
Jeremiah's grinning at me.
I am. Like, now that I've watched it, like in its entirety, I'm like, okay, I see that. I picked that up.
But I've tried to emulate him in different areas if that I can, but not really emulating him at all. It's like I'm gonna be like Spike. I'm gonna be like Spike in this way. I'm gonna be like Spike in that way, and it's like, man, I cannot do that.
I think he's just kind of marinated in you a little bit. Because just one personal story, because obviously we're still getting to know each other a good bit, but during our table read that, of course, Jeremiah coordinated, and you played like 5 characters in, there was this amazing bit when. Well, there's 2 bits. There's one where I don't think we anticipated, but you were reading for the character of Raoul because Steven wasn't there. But then you had to have a conversation with yourself because it was one of your other characters, and you just slid right into it like it was nothing, which was amazing. And then on top of that, I was trying to read like the screen direction for the second day, but I was also playing a character, and that just messed with me because I was doing a McConaughey voice. Yeah. And I'm right in the middle of trying to like jump back and forth. I don't even have to like. You don't even say anything. I just look up and you just go like this. You start reading the screen direction, and I just finished the thing out, and it was amazing. It's just like, okay, maybe you're not doing kickflips and martial arts and stuff, but you can just slide into that stuff and slide out like it's nothing. It's really cool.
I will also say that Spike is probably naturally gifted at a lot of this stuff, and I think I'm naturally gifted at reading something and kind of getting the idea behind it, because I've seen where there have been other actors that might read some kind of material and they don't exactly get it right off bat. Like I can get a cold read, and unless you have like some kind of word or terminology in there that I don't know about, or some kind of old saying, for the most part, I'm going to get and understand it very quickly in what you probably want from me. So at that particular point, either I could play it to you the way that I think you want to hear it, or I can interpret it my way and play it the way that I see it as well. So I think I've been gifted with that, but I think it's also because I've watched a lot of TV. I used to want to be a comic book artist, so I have all these different script ideas and stuff in my head. So I know how I want stuff read, and I've, just seen how other stuff has been read by other people and whatnot. So I think I've gotten a good knack for just, I see this is where they get really sad, or this is a drama, this is a comedy. I see where the comedy bit's at. It's not very funny, but I see where they're trying to hit, so I can try to hit those particular parts a little bit harder for them.
One of the last things I'll say is, we always talk about Spike being super nonchalant. I feel like you're really nonchalant. Like, you do have moments where you get excited, but like for the most part, you're generally, like, in any situation, you're generally very nonchalant.
You know what? I can see that now.
Yeah.
Because with different folks, I might play that up. Especially if, like, say somebody's doing something silly. And I actually got this more from Steve Harvey when I used to watch the Steve Harvey show. He had the sitcom for a while. Like, Steve Harvey has a very good stone face. Yes. And it's comedic, and I fucking love it so much that I start incorporating that into myself. But it also plays for, the whole Spike thing, where he's just kind of chill and nonchalant. Somebody might be making a joke or something, and everybody else could be laughing, or they might be, like blah blah ha 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 or whatever, and I might just look up at them like.
He does that to me all the time, because I do silly shit. Yes, I do silly shit all the time. He'll just stare at me like I'm an idiot. Like,
that's what I'll do, and I do it purposely.
Oh, it's so frustrating because I'm like, laugh, damn it, laugh.
It's a combination of instinct and just knowing where to play things.
Yeah,
he has strategy.
Yes, it's timing.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
because it makes me laugh, it makes me just get like, because I know I'm already like fucking up being silly, and then I just get more silly, and he's just constantly like,
Sounds like feeding the
And
fire.
So either that'll happen, or I'll also say like some kind of snide comment.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so
Get your ass back to the ship.
Yeah, yeah. So
what do you want? Well, with that, where can people find you on Instagram, or if you want to be found? If you don't want to be found, I don't know.
Oh man,
This is the part where you plug away at whatever you want.
Yeah, I wish I had more stuff to plug. I mean, if you want to follow me on Instagram, I'm at Blue Has No Clues. Like the color, it's spelled like the color. BLUEHASNOCLUES. So you can find me there in my little ukulele videos or guitar videos and stuff. But also, at some point, I should be coming out with this little short series, Living Room Sessions, which should be on YouTube at some point in time, which just basically makes fun at a lot of YouTube shows like Tiny Desk Concert and everything, because it's a show where we have musicians on, but it's a comedy, and these musicians aren't very good.
And we've seen I think 2 episodes.
Yeah, they're funny.
They're really, really funny.
Yeah,
It's just
I'm
so
excited.
deadpan.
Is there any idea when they'll be released?
Whenever my friend finishes editing the other 3 episodes that we did, we'll start releasing them.
Nice.
Here's what you do. Get your ass to work.
Yeah.
Well, this has been Common Sense. Thank you for joining us, Blue. We
Yeah.
are honored
This
that you
has
were
been
our
awesome.
first guest.
I'm honored that y'all had me on here.
Yeah,
this was
is
great
fun.
talking
This
about
is
Cowboy
fun.
Bebop.
I feel like I was really quiet, but I was really just taking everything. And I feel like when I watch the season again, like I'll have like so much more to like come back.
Well, you
to.
come back and you listen to this and you're like,
And I'm like,
oh
oh my god,
you know?
this is what I didn't notice the last time.
Because even Blue, you unpacked some stuff for the show that I didn't even pick up on. Like, whoa.
I mean, yeah, because I don't know. It was just something about watching it again, those last 2 episodes, and it was just like
the deepest episode.
Crap, like they really just kind of alluded to him dying.
Mm-hmm.
Like they alluded to this with this story, that story, this saying, that saying, you know. So it was just like, yeah.
Well, well, I'm sure we'll have you on again at some point when we
Please do.
just to shoot the shit. But yeah,
I
guess that's this for this week. And
Yeah, you
we'll
can find
talk
me, Jeremiah, on Parker, or damn. You can find me on Instagram at Parkour Geek, PARKOURG33K.
Hey, I love how you look at
Jesus.
me like I'm supposed to.
I know. I was looking at other people and like, what is my stuff? Like, I ask people like, what am I thinking about? I
you want to spell that out again so they'll know?
Okay, you can find me on Instagram, Jeremiah at Parkour Geek, PARKOURG33K. Check out my YouTube channel, A Token's Take, ATOKEN''STAKE, and just follow the shit that I do.
I want to say like for your YouTube channel, I think we talked last week about doing a custom figure. I want that to be a video.
That would be
there.
cool. I would love to do that because I haven't done much on my YouTube channel in a while.
When I get back from Boston, we'll figure it out.
Okay, yeah.
And you can follow me on Instagram at Art of Matthew, where I will post fan art and self-indulgence constantly. So yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. Have a good night.
The following audio presentation is property of Lake House Creative, LLC. Any reference to copyrighted works is for review and commentary purposes only.